Zig coming in on the top. Today on the show, we have the Frans, Cleveland's premier pro-public transit punk band, who sadly is no more. This podcast was a very special occurrence. It was a kind of a cap to the Frans' career. And it was very special and recorded in a very unique way, unlike anything else on this podcast platform that I've done so far. And what made it so unique was it was recorded on site at the Ohio Inn. Now, we talked to everyone in the Frans. We got Gabe Xavier, Cameron Mays, Hope Wandowski, Matt Tubano, and Greg from the Ohio Inn, with a surprise guest, Kaylin from Final Passion. And this was kind of the Frans community. Like, it was a real special thing to have everyone just kind of pop in. Now, I know that the guys, we planned to do this at the Ohio Inn, but Kaylin popping in wasn't planned. And it at times this podcast can get a little hectic. There's a lot of people talking, but for the most part, everyone, gives each other space to be heard. There is a lot of reverb that's just from the Ohio Inn as is. And it was cool. Greg shut down the bar the whole night so we can do this podcast. And it's the rare occurrence of people, place, movement, music all aligned together that really brought the Frans and that scene alive. And it was a real special thing. So if you were at a Frans show or just a fan of the album or a fan of the bus, this is a deep dive into their whole journey. Though the Frans are no more, there's still some Frans news and some things to be on the lookout for. First off being Thursday, September 19th at No Class, Gabriel, Xavier, and the Neon Saints are having an album release show. I played on that record. Coda from Sea Level also played on that record. Matt from the Frans plays on that record. It's it's a very near and dear project to Gabe, and we are honored to be on it and excited to be rocking out Thursday at No Class. Also on that show, Leah Mara and the River Boys. Leah and the crew are very good friends of everyone on this show, and we are stoked to be rocking out with them. And we got two out-of-town bands, C Night from LA and Icarus Phoenix from Baltimore. So it's going to be a good night. Starts 8 p.m., $10 at the door. Best thing you can do if you see the bucket, you know what I'm saying? Be there. Also, one other thing to have on your Frans radar is there's a Sea Level Frans crossover tune, a tune I wrote called Twin Iron Snake. We recorded with Frans, members of the Frans, and did a kind of a crossover tunage. And when that's all done and mixed and whatever, we're going to be putting that out on all the streaming platforms. So a little bit of Frans stuff to be on the lookout for. I was thinking about it after this conversation and after mixing and listening to it. I was at just about every Frans gig, either as someone there supporting or playing on the bill, either with the band or as a solo act. I think just about every one of them played somehow. So really kind of diving into the magic of how their band worked and what brought that scene together it was a pretty special thing for myself as well. So this was a really cool way to cap it for everybody. And this was Cameron wanted to cap it before he moved. Right after this, he moved to New York. And yeah, so I think this was a really cool podcast. I think it was really cool to get Greg and everyone involved. Now, for people who are like, what are you talking about, dude? I have no clue about this band. We're going to listen to a tune. This is Ride the Bus by the Frans. I just wanna ride the bus. Ride the Bus, the Frans. It's available on all the streaming platforms. There's some vinyl out there if you can hunt them down. All right. If you hear what you like, check out the band. Check out Gabriel, Xavier, and Neon Saints. Be on the lookout for the Frans Sea Level crossover tune in the near future. And also, if you enjoy this conversation, if you can rate, review, subscribe to the podcast and any of the podcast platforms, it helps me keep talking to cool guests such as the Frans and Greg and sharing their insights with you. So without further ado, here's my conversation at the Ohio Inn with the Frans and Greg. That's intense. Holy shit.
I watched the recent parking lot dead thing in the 70s of all the fans. It's pretty cool to see.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was genuine.
Yeah, I
love its own subculture, it had its own economy.
Yeah. Now the hippies ruined it. Those young long hairs.
young, long hair.
So they go, all right, we're at the Ohio Inn with the Frans and Greg. Gabe, talking to your mic.
Hello.
One more time.
Talking into the mic.
All
One
right.
more
I
time.
can't hear in my headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I can hear in mine? I can hear the lovely sounds of Taco Bell. All right, so I guess we got to start with where the Frans started. So Cameron, you may... Well, no, from my perspective of the story of the Frans was when Gabe started playing... Well, Cameron, I met you on Gabe's film.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gabe, they started to tell me about how you had this band or this idea for a band that was a public transit themed band going.
Yeah.
And it was just the thing you were doing. And I remember when you were telling me about it, I think it was like after a show or something. But I can remember the vague conversation of the band you wanted to start. Oh, no, it was at My Friends.
Yeah.
It was at My Friends, and you were telling me about it. And this is something you started with your friend Steven.
Yeah.
So when did the Frans take off? In the sense of bringing it to...
It was February. Steven got back from Berkeley. He was taking a sabbatical. Yeah. And I just wanted to start a group. And he, I think, needed something to get his just mind off of things in Boston. So we just would hang out a lot. And
Was it serious? Was it like, yo, I have these songs? Or was it just like...
I had like 2 or 3 songs written.
which songs? Dracula?
No, that came later. No, it was a song that we'd never played ever,
Whoa.
called "Party in the PRC," about how great trains are in China, and this is true. And Gabe, did we ever play that with you?
Yeah, we played it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just whatever song, you know. And then "Ride the Bus" and "Corral" were the other 2 songs.
So you had those ready to roll before...
More or less, yeah.
Okay, and was it like Velvet Underground kind of influency? Because the chorale I thought for sure was Gabe influence, knowing that you studied flamenco and stuff.
I
but
think
like,
when we shaped it.
okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, to start with.
Corral was inspired by Henry Purcell, the English composer, and Beach Boys' "Smile" album.
Okay.
Yeah, I love how that album kind of has this kind of like just all these 3 parts just kind of. I mean, I think the first 3 songs are called "Our Prayer," G, which is an old doo-wop song, and "Heroes and Villains." And I just liked how they all segued into each other, and that was kind of the idea with the chorale and "Ride the Bus," is they kind of interlink, but we didn't really know how
and
to
like
do it.
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, and so eventually, I mean, this kind of, like all our songwriting sessions were just really drunken affairs, and we would kind of, split a bottle of Southern Comfort and half a bottle of Jägermeister, and just kind of until we'd just both run out of steam and pass out. And so we were kind of at a point where we needed a little bit of a change. So I told Gabe about just the concept, and Gabe was willing to give it a shot and came by.
And I said, there is no way in hell.
Yeah.
But then Cameron had a big bucket of money.
Well, I remember talking with Gabe about it, like while this was happening, and like hearing the demos of stuff recorded from Gabe's phone.
Yeah.
Of like just of the tunes, and it was jammy and spacey and Velvet Undergroundy, and like I've played with Gabe in like bands for as long as I've known Gabe, and like it was really cool to see them really excited about the Frans and about this band and where it was going. And like it was hard to tell what it would sound like from the demos that Gabe was showing me at Ohio City Barrito.
Yeah.
Like I remember the phone recordings, and it was just being like
I think those were Steven recordings played through my phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
It was it was cool, but it wasn't clear what it was. So like,
Yeah, I think we were still kind of all figuring stuff out at that point, and I always wanted it to be a live band, and I don't know. I think Steven always wanted to do more recording stuff, which nothing wrong with either of those two pursuits, but I think I think that's where a lot of the discrepancy. I mean, that's just all early band stuff. We were just all kind of figuring it out, and I think we were kind of making a big old stew and just seeing what floated to the top, and that would be the stuff we
should have probably not have done both.
Yeah.
What was it? Well, so it was like
That's kind of how I felt. Just no shows, no recording.
Yeah, just stay at home.
Just
Yeah.
stay at
that
home,
was option.
stay in the McMansion basement.
That was Gabe.
eat
Well,
Taco Bell.
Gabe wasn't a voting member at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, so you and Steven were brewing this up for a minute, and like the songs, like when I first heard the songs, I was like, oh, these are like not at all what I thought from the demos. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, these are like Clash, like put together tight tunes.
Yeah.
And the harmonies were tight. So it was more than just like fucking around. It had to be a little bit more than just kind of fucking around, because it was too put together in a way for it to be that.
Well,
you know?
I don't want to say that like it was put together from me and Gabe's point, but I think probably would have fizzled out in nothing. And then the first couple days in the Frans, like Steven didn't even have a drum kit.
Whoa.
He just had like a kick drum and like
That's all you need.
a snare, and it was like just a really wacky setup. So I think like in that early days, like if we didn't get the like infusion of Gabe, sort of like it wasn't like Steve and I were really toiling around in anonymity for a long time. Like pretty quickly, it started running its course, and Gabe got there, and I think we kind of just all straightened out from right then. I feel like March or April, maybe.
May. It
May?
was like right
Yeah.
after that semester.
Okay, yeah, but
I felt a little like an editor in that
What year was this?
2022.
20, yeah.
Yeah, I felt a little like an editor, because I feel like there was like just parts that like I mean, not consciously, but just kind of like, I think you guys were maybe like gauging my response on certain, like that "Fuck Parking Lot" song.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like,
What?
like I didn't want to do a lot, and like it's like, oh, okay, so maybe that's not the right one. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Or
yeah.
Like chorale, and it's like, oh, let's shape it, and like take it from where it is. So I think that's kind of how I felt a little. Was just like,
Yeah, and we were just trying stuff out, really.
Yeah.
We were just, I think we were just putting our, like, just kind of seeing what direction we really wanted to go to. And some of the joke songs started falling out of favor, and some of the maybe more directly political things were kind of like, I don't know about that. And we kind of found a balance of things we just liked doing and what was going to work and have longevity to it. And that we were all willing to put a lot of time into shaping.
So it was more, I guess the Frans medium is something politically inclined, but also with some of the humoristic, like absurdity kind of, that's what made it like that, or it was cutting through both of those.
I think we just kind of, I think we just cut the extremes of both sides of those.
Yeah.
I think "Fuck Parking Lots" was a song Steven penned, and it was a little too silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too silly. I think the PRC one was silly.
semi-goofy, one might say.
Yeah, semi-goofy. I think the PRC one was just a little too, like, grasping for something that, like, too heady. So I think we just kind of found, like, the place where it's, like, where we wouldn't get laughed at the most.
Yeah.
In the middle of, like, laughed at in bad ways, Like, we found what was kind of, what was, like, the political and, like, kind of a consumable way and humorous in a way that wasn't ridiculous.
I think it was important to like not be didactic too, and just like kind of. I feel like with political music, it's really easy to like point to something obvious, and especially it's like everyone in the audience is already on our side, so it's like might as well be clever and funny about it,
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And like, and also that is a gateway for people who may not get the bit.
Yeah.
And may not see the political like part of it to kind of be welcomed into thinking in that sense.
Right. Yeah. And
You know?
I think, yeah, like to that point too, it's like, you know, what I never really understood about any sort of political thing, like art movement or just beliefs, is like why would you want to alienate someone else? Like, if you want them to kind of come around to your side, you know? So I think there was always, that was even like our more silly things or more political things.
That's
I
the
don't think
Taco Bell.
Yeah. I don't think we ever took a step that was really divisive or, you know, pushing. I think it was always just, we tried to just be silly and in the right ways and political in ways that were kind of overarching and stuff like that. Yeah.
But that's like how political commentary has been successful historically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like something more modern is like SNL.
Yeah.
Like they make a ton of jokes and they punch up.
Yeah.
You know, like a play that comes to mind for me is The Misanthrope, and that's about like, I don't know, like being disingenuine and like about manners and things like that.
You put a pin in the play, right?
I think too, like it was almost more important that we were like political in our actions and how we do shows than like overtly in our music. Like we were really like set on, if we're gonna do show, like our first show should be something like that benefits people. So we did the Bridget Alliance.
Yeah.
But was that the first show? Or was
Yeah,
that was
our first
after?
three shows.
First
yeah.
3 shows were
Okay.
all benefits for the Bridget Alliance.
Right. Because I remember putting together and playing those shows with you guys, or at least helping with one of them and helping with the
All
flyer.
three. You were on all
Yeah, you
three,
played
man.
all 3.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember making flyers or doing
Yeah.
something
Oh, yeah.
on the business end of one of them. But like, so stuff's coming together. Gabe comes in. You guys are editing.
Yeah.
When does the idea of not the first show, or the first show before the run of shows come to like, oh, we should actually put something together and play?
I think we knew Steven was leaving for
Okay.
Boston, so I think we were just like, well, he's leaving at the end of August. Let's get some shows in the beginning of August, and then we were kicking the idea of the benefit thing around.
I think the other thing too is we're just like similarly when we were at a point when we were just kind of like, well, we don't really have anything else to do, and then Gabe joined, and then we suddenly had a new sense of direction. Like I feel like we were just at a point like where we just had kind of like sort of figured out what the song. We had quite a bit of songs written by then, and we were all pretty rehearsed, and it was just sort of like, well, gotta play now, you know?
Because I remember the first show at the 5 o'clock. We've had plenty of like first shows at the 5 o'clock, I think, between the two of us, Gabe. And like I remember playing it and hearing you guys at sound check and being like, oh shit, this stuff sounds really fucking good. It's really tight. It's really clashy. I remember Subway Sally, I think it's the first tune I heard. And it was just the 3 of you, Steven and Gabe. And being blown away, I'm like, yeah, these are real tight. This is not just like this weird spacey joke bit I thought you guys were going to do. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And then, and that first show was kind of a doozy with all the things entailed with it. But it was like a successful evening. I think that made $200, right?
No, I think it was more. I think it was 400.
400?
Yeah.
400
We
for
did
the-
900 total.
Wow.
Right.
And I think we got the most money at the 5 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I
it was
think
the
it was
first
like
show.
$400, and then I think the second most was No Class in Winchester, which Winchester might have been 200.
Okay.
Might have been like 400, 200, and 3. Does the math add up? Yeah.
Yeah,
300,
yeah. But no, because like I remember, and I remember specifically Hope, you coming there on that first night and being like, holy shit, I gotta be in this band.
Yeah.
So why don't you introduce your perspective from that moment?
Well, I mean, I had recently this was like not super long after I met Gabe. And Gabe kind of had told you about it a little bit, and I was like, damn, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like the coolest band. That sounds like the perfect band for me. But at that time, I had never played anything else besides guitar very, very badly. And then when we went to see the show at the 5 o'clock lounge, I mean, I was pumped. You know, I was like, this is such a cool concept. I love it. And then I don't know, like,
And then we started playing.
Yeah,
Never
and then
mind.
and then you started playing, and it was like,
that was your first Frans show?
yeah,
Yeah?
The
Yeah.
first show you were
And
there.
you knew them because of...
Dave.
Yeah, because me and Gabe go way back. Like
Yeah.
best friend, number one homie for life.
I can tell.
So it's good.
But yeah, and you guys had the backdrop. This bus kills fascists, and it you know the RTA logo is there, and I was like, oh shit,
The
this
lights.
is
There was
so
lights at that show.
cool.
The RTA sued us for that, but
yeah.
that'll be discussed on a different podcast.
That's why they use that really shitty song for their
Yeah.
We Ride Together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's a cool feeling.
actually our
to,
song.
Like, you go see a show, I'm like, fuck, I want to be in this
No,
band.
it was that was the first time I've ever felt like that, and I remember like being so filled with energy because in the middle of the set I turn around to Dave,
Do
and
you
I
want
was
me
like,
to do it or do you want to do it? You do it.
"You
Go
do
ahead.
it." No, you do. You do it.
to fucking be in this band.
Yeah, well, because it was so loud. But no, I was hyped as fuck. I was like, just the fact that I know the people who are, even if I didn't know anybody in this band, I would still try to be in this band. But like, it's a bonus that I know Gabe and Cameron like
Schumann.
loosely.
Yeah.
We already
and I
owed
was
you
like-
money, so
Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta buy a bass. I gotta be in this band. And I remember like going to the bar after the set and like being so filled with energy. You know how you can like bounce your leg really fast sometimes? And my leg was like bouncing really fast. And the guy next to me was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
That's got
"No,
right.
I think I saw my like new favorite band. I'm really pumped right now."
That's
I know
how
he
you know you're a rhythm musician.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I might as well have done coke, you know. Same thing.
Well,
Even-
you
Eight
know,
ball.
better.
8-ball Greg.
Yeah, 8-ball Greg. We got Greg here.
We got Greg on the line.
Greg's on the line.
Greg's our first
Yeah,
caller.
can we edit it so it
Greg's our
sounds
first caller.
Can we edit it so it sounds like Greg's on the phone?
Hey, Greg, can I get another beer?
But yeah, the very next day, I have the receipt taped on my fridge. The very next day, I went out and I bought a bass.
We went out.
We went
What'd you
out.
buy?
That
A
was
bass.
the Stingray. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Guitar
Stingray.
Center.
Yeah, from Guitar Center. I had a little coupon.
Oh, you had a coupon.
From
Oh
Billy.
yeah,
From our
Billy.
homie Billy,
coupon.
which is the only reason anyone can do anything here today.
Yes.
With any type of gear.
Yes.
Billy is a saint, a scholar,
Thank you.
and a hero to many.
Yes.
Smells nice too.
He smells
Mm-hmm.
great. Anyway,
Smells good.
He always
Billy.
carries around a hanky.
he's prepared.
That's why
I
he
love
smells so
hankies.
good.
Yeah, because hanky is actually an abbreviation for handsome, ass,
Nice, kind.
negligent.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But
Dior,
What's K?
Kind.
kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was saying
Is it
handy.
IE
I was
or
I was
Y?
spelling
Anyway, so
handy.
Gig 1 goes off. And
That's
the
what we
people-
want from Billy. It's a handy.
Ba-boom, Billy. This is going to be the one Billy definitely listens to.
He will, yeah. He won't.
He doesn't even know us. He doesn't like us.
Billy.
He doesn't want to hear this stuff.
Billy's our hero.
Yeah, yeah,
Is Billy
But,
at a music
so-
shop?
yeah.
He's-
Billy's
Where?
Billy's music
Center,
shop.
Billy Guitar Center.
Billy's music shop.
Where?
Guitar Center.
Guitar
he
Center
worked
Island.
there.
He has
we
a
got an inside guy
he has a pop up in
Yeah.
it called Billy's Music Shop, and he sells you what they sell there.
from the dumpster.
But he writes his name on the receipt.
He writes his name on the headstock of every guitor.
All right, now we
I'll
might
get that
Billy,
Billy
in trouble.
Telecaster.
Yeah.
It's not a Fender. It's a Billy Bender. It's a Bender. Or a Bipson.
I used to have a not offender.
Well,
I bet that didn't offend anybody.
I used to have a box amp. Billy
But anyway.
Billy box. Yeah.
So
Back to Hope.
back to Hope. No, back to the next thing, because I remember after that, the next gig I think was the no class.
No, the next gig was the Halloween in the person's
Well, no,
garage.
Oh
no,
yeah,
no,
no, that
wait.
was when you played.
Oh yeah, that was
Winchester.
when yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
second
yeah.
It was
gig
Winchester.
Right.
was
The
a
second gig,
recycling
yeah, because-
show.
Oh yeah, the recycling one.
It was like
5
Halloween
o'clock.
in somebody's garage.
Yeah.
That was my
Garage
first.
show is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we play because I opened
wait,
that. No, it was supposed to be Sea Level, but Pat disappeared or something that day, and it was Cody and I,
Yeah.
and we did
For
a
no
weird
class?
Yeah,
That-
we
yeah.
did. We
I
did a
forgot about the
weird
recycling
duo
show.
set. The recycling show.
Yeah, that was our second show, which was the day after our first show. We
Yeah.
played
Okay.
4 songs.
That was a
Yeah.
benefit thing for something.
My
your
sister-
Yeah.
Awareness.
It was an awareness.
Awareness
Did you recycle the
raising
worst
about
material?
recycling.
Yeah, we played. We
yeah.
played one of our only covers ever.
That was
Which
actually
one
the
was
only
it?
time we've ever done a cover.
was
We
it?
did a Velvet Underground version of Locomotion.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you know the little Ava.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. But and was that just the? No, that was the three of you. Okay,
Yeah. Gabe also played a Telecaster at that show.
Only time I've ever played a
That's
non-scratch.
The only time you sounded good.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
like the little fun
I'm
fact.
all about the
the 2 fun facts about that show.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So we're at Winchester.
No. Now we're at
No class. Okay.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
Winchester was first, but we can go to.
Was it?
It was
Yeah.
Winchester then no class. If we want
Okay.
to go like linear order
No,
of
I
every
do. I
gig.
want to make sure I'm laying it
Okay,
out. So,
but-
because I remember that one was weird because the band that was opening or playing in between, weren't they like their drummer was coming back from New York that day?
Yeah,
car broke down.
Which-
Yeah.
Winchester show.
Yeah,
Also,
the
it sounded
Winchester
like
show.
shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause
And then, did I play that one or was I just there?
No,
No,
Sea
see
Level
the
played.
whole.
the
Yeah,
whole
you
band played
guys
that
headlined.
one.
The whole
yeah.
board.
With
Okay.
Jared. Jay played drums.
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We had Jay fill in that gig. I remember this. Okay. And then the other gig, Jay was supposed to fill in as well because we were doing all these random house party shows, and we played one show and we were heading to the no class show, and then Jay was just like, I don't want it. I can't.
I
or
remember
I don't
that,
want it.
yeah.
Yeah. And then so
I'm a
Cody
dad
and I
now.
show up and we do this weird duo set, and then we do a drum solo section with 2 people that can't play drums.
Awesome.
It was awesome. But anyway, I remember that show in particular because there was a board recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to learn the shit out of that to teach it the hope. So
Yeah.
you can play the songs. And then I think, is the next one the house party or
I guess so.
Think,
Or was
no,
there-
we did B-side
B-side? Okay.
for
yeah,
your
yeah.
birthday, and then I think the next one.
Okay. Yeah, that was, and then Pat was at that one.
B-side.
Yeah, the
Yes,
B-side
that's
show. Because
right.
it was outdoor in the patio.
It was just us and you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, come out and do
Oh, yeah.
acoustic.
Yeah.
And then we
so that was the last
rocked it.
3-piece show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And
I
then
remember
Hope
that.
Joy.
That was a good night. I really liked that night.
Yeah, I like B-side a lot.
That was cool.
Patio. B-side patio.
Where's that at?
B-side.
It's under the
The
garage
patio
shop.
B-side. Yeah.
Yeah, where's that at?
A B-side. It's underneath the A-side. Underneath,
Oh,
underneath
fuck
Grog
yeah.
Shop. Underneath the Grog Shop.
It's weird because it's underneath Grog Shop, but the patio isn't.
Yes.
The patio
Yeah.
is above Grog Shop.
You have to
Yeah.
climb up.
We'll
There's a
take you there.
ton of-
Matt hasn't been to the
Yeah.
grog shop.
Right.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
bother.
Yeah, I got lost.
You got to get closer to the mic if you're going to tell people that.
I got lost.
There we go.
I wouldn't
On
bother.
your scooter.
Anyways.
So anyway,
I scooted down a gutter.
next gig, Hope starts playing. That's that crazy house party.
Yes.
One thing I want to point at this
That
point.
I remember something about this. Oh wait, were you
Yeah,
gonna say
no,
something?
keep going.
I remember something about this house party. We got that gig from a Venmo.
Oh yeah.
I
What?
From a
my friend so we played at my friend Duncan's garage, and he Venmoed his girlfriend something, and I commented, Duncan, can we play a show out here?
Because we use Venmo as like a form of social media because you can comment on
Yeah.
people's transactions.
Which is
Is
dumb.
it not?
but-
So, right. So we actually, that's how we've booked most of our shows.
Yeah.
is
So that
through Venmo comments.
yeah. So that is true. It came out because he was like yes. So that's
Wait. So what did you comment on that he paid for?
I don't
What did you say?
remember. I was probably
okay.
just like pizza or some date night thing. Yeah. But I totally forgot about that.
And you're like, hey, my band can play at your house.
Yeah. And he was like, yes. So that was it. He would throw these really big Halloween parties, and they always were missing a rock band.
Candy and
Candy.
and
There was
Scares.
candy
They
there.
had
I
candy.
did.
People were in costumes.
But one thing
Murder.
I want to point at this point already, every Frans show has been, aside maybe the Winchester wasn't as much of a banger, but everyone
Well, yeah, it
has
sounded like shit.
well, every show has been like well attended and well participated in.
Yeah.
Like there's already this group of people that are like, this is like fucking awesome and having a good time every time. Like the last Frans show, I saw people mosh to a waltz. You know what I'm saying? So the crowd's
Yeah.
already getting into it. Is this something you guys kind of picked up on, heard about in Venmo comments? Is this just something that just happened?
No, it was all Steven.
Venmo comment.
He brought us a lot of fans. No, no, it's well, you know, Gabe's a looker and I'm a talker.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
you need.
That's-
Lookers and talkers, and what else is there?
That's all you need.
And
And
Hope's a smoker, and Steven was a joker.
Steven was a joker.
How-
Hope's
how
a
is-
smoker.
how did
Greg's
I
a
joke?
midnight toker. All right.
You're the Joker. You're the new Joker.
I am a joke.
No. Anyway, no, but we just. I mean, I think. I don't know. I don't want to overanalyze it. So I think all it was just.
We had a lot of friends that liked to drink
Yeah.
from CSU, and I think they needed like an activity to do while they drank. So it just kind of like
Fuck yeah.
worked out. And if any of them are listening, I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, like, you know, I mean, just speaking from my, like, people my age was, like, right when we get out to college, you know, everything shuts down from COVID.
Yeah.
I think we were all just really looking for, this was the first time ever that all of us could just be out without masks and all of us could drink legally. So I think we were just really just
Every
kind
day
of
for me.
excited. Yeah, and like Cleveland State's just not really like a college town. So just the drinking scene's a little bit different. So I think people, and a lot of people are commuters, so I think people really wait until they're kind of legal 21 before they really go out to bars. And yeah, so I think it was just like a perfect storm of people were like really wanting to go out for something, you know, and it
Yeah.
just like,
But you
it
can
just
really
worked
wanna,
out.
You can really want to go out to something and not get in on the bit.
Yeah.
Like also, homies were in on the bit, like or in on the whole thing because like every Frans show I've been at or played to, there's always been.
Excuse me.
Or they're very disappointed.
Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
Or disappointment's part of the bit. No.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you quickly developed a very loyal and animated group of people that were into the band. Because then that takes me to the next show. I remember the Becky show, which was
Yeah.
like what Steven's last show.
No,
Arguably-
his last show was
we were
here.
hoping.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Here at the
yeah.
Ohio Inn.
Yeah.
Which we're in at the moment, the Ohio Inn,
Yeah.
which is a very special Frans saving grace.
It's our home base.
This is definitely your home base, and we
It's
have
where I
Greg,
had sex
too.
for
I
the
love
first
this place.
time.
Yeah. It's where. Are you?
Sorry you had to
are
find
you
out this
familiar
way,
with
Greg.
Are you familiar with the concept of soaking?
Well, I technically worked here when I was 16.
That's true. You can.
So
you should
I
spin
can
that
tell.
yarn.
And I worked with an ex-girlfriend in high school.
Do you want to say or no?
I'm not going to say her name.
Say it.
Can we guess?
But you're never going to guess it.
Steve.
Jewel.
How'd you guys... Steve and Jewel is her name.
There's Jules Stevens.
But, yeah, I mean, shenanigans may have happened in this building.
really?
No.
Oh.
there might have been
There
some
was some
making out in the
spaghetti,
basement,
some-
but
Ew.
yeah. Have you seen that basement? It's a love nest
it's
down there.
huge.
Exactly. We had
It
so
is
much
beautiful.
room.
Wait.
That's what they call it. Booby Central.
But that's right. I remember you
Yeah.
telling me we would pass by here, like
Yeah.
walking to my friends or Diana's, being like, "Yeah, I worked at this place. It was an
Yeah,
Italian
it's called
restaurant."
Maria's. Yeah,
Maria's, but
And
now
I
it's the
washed
Ohio Inn.
dishes. Now it's the Ohio Inn, and it's still Italian, despite the name.
Greg, were you aware of what this was before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were
Did
you
come
aware
here
of-
before?
No.
Okay.
I just moved here in 16.
From
where?
Warren, Ohio.
Warren, Ohio. Okay.
Before that.
No, that's Warren, Ohio, Texas. That was the name of the town.
Does Greg need to move the mic?
I got him cranked, so Greg's
Okay.
fine. Greg can do
Okay.
whatever he wants.
Greg is
This is
cranked.
his place.
Cranked Greg.
Yes, there's a lot of things that went on in that basement. I mean, dozens of people come
Tell me the
back here and
juiciest.
tell me they worked here.
Yeah.
They did things in the basement. There's
Yeah.
ghosts down there. There's dead people that died down
Oh,
there.
good. Well, yeah.
Poop story.
Makes
I can tell.
sense.
Poop stories of sewer lines breaking.
Boobs.
Poop Castle.
Thighs.
Oh, I had something to say on the one thing you said.
All right.
About people digging our message pretty soon. I think part of that was just we just had things that we really could have sang about anything, but we just had something that was inoffensive enough and done in a way that was earworming enough.
Well,
that
yeah, the
it
music
just
was
stuck.
good, and like,
You know?
well, the music was good, which is, you know, the most important thing as a band is like your music and what you stand for.
So they say.
Is good, arguably, you know, at least good
Look
to
at the
your
band now.
standards.
I
but
think
also,
too, like one thing, like coming into it was like there was a huge idea of like the band as this conceptual art piece that I was getting from Cameron before I even like heard any of the songs or like started practicing with the Frans. But they're like, you know, I think maybe I felt like it was kind of my role in the early days to decide like how far that conceptual art piece can, because I remember we had some ideas like that were like, okay, we'll have like this 8-minute long drone song that's like a poem about like car, you know, or like
Yeah.
whatever ideas we had. And I think like once I got there and there were like songs like that, and then there were songs it's like that but over here, and then there were songs that were like, you know, really catchy like rock songs that sounded like the Clash or the Ramones, and like I felt like I was maybe like the totem of like which way it was going to fall.
So
you know,
you're
I think
the reason the band like toppled over.
yeah, and the reason it all fell apart because
Yeah.
no, but
Makes
I
sense.
was leaning towards more of like the kind of standard rock songs, and I think, and I don't know, maybe that all of us. Just
You were the Phil Collins of the group.
yeah.
Damn.
But
it.
I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but that's kind of how I remember it. Was just like there were these kind of two sets of songs that both Cameron and Steven had, and I was leaning towards the more kind of structured, and I think that's because of that we just all started spending more time on that kind of thing.
Gotcha. What was like the kind of first like bit song-wise, not bit, what was the first like kind of connecting gel that made like you like really dig what was going on? Like, was there a tune in particular you guys started working on that you're like, okay, I can creatively and artistically, as in the whole art piece, invest in this?
I think Ride the Bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I heard like the kind of whole composition of, and it like, I think it was already kind of composed. But I think I just kind of instantly knew like, oh, I should play this over this. I should play this over this.
Who wrote that song?
It was mostly me.
Yeah?
Steven helped out, yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna take credit for that?
What's he gonna do?
People who are listening, Cameron's doing a really shy, like,
Yeah.
shoulder shrug.
It's no Jane Jacobs.
No,
It's
it's none of our song. No.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that was just what we were most fleshed out with, and it was really concise too. Like it was really well structured and well created, and the lyrics we kind of nailed right off the bat. I think too with that one. You know,
Pretty deep.
Yeah, really deep. Well, you know, I mean, it was you didn't really have to do another revision. It was just there and ready to roll.
Yeah. But I mean, well, that is definitely the buy-in. Like, as soon as that hits, everyone would mosh the hardest.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like, so
we always thought of it like our thesis statement.
Yeah.
You know, so
Your
I
abstract here.
think it'd be like if we tried, if we had a different song that was like, you know, our introductory sentence or our, you know, third paragraph support sentence, it wouldn't make as much sense. But that was kind of like, this is basically what we're all about. And
yeah.
I like that third paragraph support sentence. That's how you describe the group. It's fucking awesome.
Now, I guess before kind of leaving this, like, the beginning of stuff, like, coming from working with Gabe on their film, you guys kind of had this rapport of working on, like, kind of an art piece together. Did any of this kind of influence what came later musically, like, with how you worked or had, like, respect for each other and creative views and such like that? Like, having this rapport. I know, Matt.
Yeah.
Having this rapport with each other, like, did it make it easier to kind of dive into a project like the Frans?
Yeah, because we just had like a language that we both shared, and we both had like heroes that were kind of we both had. Like I feel like Gabe always would bring up this Jim Jarmusch quote, like something about stupid.
Oh, the stupid factor.
I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, he says all art should have a stupid factor.
Yeah,
And like if it's too serious, then you get something boring like U2.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
there
that's the
should
same
be
thing as like
something
Zappa. Is like, does humor belong in music?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was. I mean, it's just like we had kind of a pantheon that we both. It's like that period of when ancient Greece and ancient Egypt kind of combined, and they started sharing like gods, and it's like we both kind of had our like. Oh, we both have the same god of war. Oh, both have the same. But then we had our different, god. So we had this language that we both shared, and it kind of like as we expanded this sharedness, we kind of like, oh, you also like, oh, you like that, and we kind of went back in our lineage or whatever. And then we also had things that we both brought to the table. So,
And I think also like a same appreciation of like public transit,
Yeah.
and dislike of cars, and just an appreciation of cities in general and infrastructure and architecture and all that stuff, man.
yeah, I think too. Gabe always talked about like with their movie, like thinking of it structurally like an album. So I think like maybe in a similar way we might have thought about this album like almost like a movie, like just like we thought of it, the album and the band very structurally and very conceptually, and there was, I think, every single show we had really. I mean, I bought my guitar not based. I didn't know anything about guitars. I bought it strictly on visuals.
I can tell.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
know.
a heavy
yeah.
guitar, man.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
very
I-
uncomfortable to play.
Yeah, and we'd always like kind of plan out every single outfit before shows, and that was like we just always thought about things visually, and I don't think any of that would happen if we didn't really work. We didn't have this kind of common language of film. So yeah, or I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah.
that totally makes sense. And like, so moving from that into like the next couple things that we gotta hit, right?
Yeah.
There's all this Frans lore we gotta reach.
Yes.
So
I'm
Hope
gonna
joins the
pee.
band. You do that. Hope joins the band.
Yeah.
Wait for Matt to leave the room. Hope joins the band.
Yep.
Hope joins the band. Hope joins the band.
Matt does that.
I think the footsteps are fine.
No. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about now that Matt's not here. Let's really get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So when Matt
Matt was the
farts,
problem.
dude, no. Anyway, so Hope joins the band. You guys are playing. Steven has to leave.
Yeah.
You have Steven's last show here at the Ohio Inn.
Yeah.
And
on January 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the hunt for the new drummer comes.
Yeah.
And the recording of the record. It's kind of happening at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Or the idea that we are going to record.
Yeah. So I mean that's a long story, and I don't want to get into any sort of like of the bitterness of it, but we just
No, I'm not asking for dirt on
oh,
the
yeah,
drummers.
no,
I'm just saying like
totally.
this is what's happening next, right?
right. Yeah, we're like just kind of looking at just like the next picture and stuff like that, and we did an acoustic thing with Hope, and
You guys did a few acoustic shows, like the Becky shows.
Just-
Yeah.
Well-
we did one at Becky's and one at Duncan's house and one
I wanna bring this up because I feel like it's gonna be relevant later.
Okay. Greg's serving up some shots here.
brews.
We're here at the Ohio Inn, and I don't know what that was, Hope, but that was terrifying. Oh, I think it was Greg. Someone totally. Anyway, it's fine. Anyway, what are you bringing
Okay,
up?
so there's one point before Steven leaves where
oh, the gun.
no. What?
we never told Hope about that.
I haven't told you guys about something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't
Carry
told
on, lady.
I haven't told anyone about this. Anyway.
Now you're telling everybody.
So before Steven leaves, there was a show at Becky's that we played that once I joined the Frans, I could not keep my mouth shut. Like, I was so excited that I was in a real band. Boy, howdy, was that like the best thing that ever happened to me.
But you kept getting
Thank
all the
you,
like,
Greg.
attention from really hot guys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, so I told everyone at work, and I work at Cleveland Public Library, and I told like everyone at work, I told anyone that I could ever see that crossed my path,
Including bus drivers.
including bus drivers. I told
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
So I told the director, Felton Thomas, and I told my bosses, I told John Skirdick, Harriet Parks, blah, 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 anyone that would possibly listen to me.
Yeah.
I was like, guess what I'm doing? And there was a show before Steven left at Becky's bar downtown. And
Cellophane Jane came out.
yeah, and I because I told everyone at the library, I was like, "Oh, we're playing a show
'Cause I
at
played that one too,
Becky's."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Ryan Rick and the Lampshades.
And so the director, like Felton Thomas came, John Skirdick came, Melissa Carr, the institutional archivist, a bunch of other people, and like
Justin Bibb, maybe.
Justin Bibb, he
Was
saw
Well,
he
he's
saw
later. He's later.
he
Like,
saw our Instagram post tagging him.
you guys
know?
would always tag him.
Yeah, but they, like, this group of library people came, and when they saw like a bunch of young college kids screaming about riding the bus and being so excited, there was like stars in their eyes of like, what other public institution can we draw awareness to through insane music?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's gonna this
We'll put
comes
a pin
back.
in that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
It comes back to the other pin I put it in your bit with that. But yeah, that was that. I forgot the director and everyone came out that night.
Yeah.
But
That was
anyway,
crazy.
so Steven leaves. You guys keep going. Eventually,
Yeah.
Jackson comes in.
Yeah,
pretty much
into-
immediate.
but
yeah.
in between all that, I think
Okay.
we're just kind of like, I think just trying to figure stuff out, and Hope kind of just really sort of kept us together, because I think we were both, Gabe and I were just like,
I remember
So
getting
it
a
was good to-
text.
it was good. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I got a text. We had a group chat with Steven, and Steven was like, "I'm going to Boston. The Frans is over." And I remember, I remember like
Yeah.
freaking out because I just invested in all this like not cheap musical equipment.
Well, affordable because of our friend
yes,
Billy.
yes, but
not cheap.
Yeah.
And so I was like freaking out because I was like, well, shit, I just bought like well over $1,000's worth of equipment, and now the band is gonna be over. So I like frantically texted Gabe and Cameron, and I was like, please no,
Yeah.
please.
They were like, we're gonna keep going. Don't worry.
God damn it.
God
Okay.
damn it.
Get 'em.
Yeah. So, but I think we were all like, we wanted to, and two, like, yeah, it just was like, well, we already got this far. But yeah, so
I think, sorry to interrupt, you had a show for us. The Sea Level release show was like booked.
Oh.
Yes.
And you were like, do you want to do it?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we'll do it acoustic. And
Yeah.
you were like,
No, I like
Dave
people-
doesn't, or Cody doesn't want that.
Yeah.
He wants,
Oh,
and so we were like,
acoustic
we'll
would
get
be
a,
cool.
There's
we'll
so-
get a drummer then. We'll continue.
What's the release?
Cody doesn't want that.
yeah.
But I mean, come on, when you
So-
see the Frans, when I saw you guys like at this point probably like 9 times.
Yeah.
And played bills, and like I knew the reaction to the people, and I knew the people that we were gonna bring. I wanted them to fucking have a fucking awesome time. We're doing this crazy, wild ass Tony Hawk
Yeah.
themed
Acoustic
show.
shows can be fucking balls.
acoustic
True.
shows we always got
Pain in
laid
that.
after.
But no, Matt.
So we were really upset.
What?
No, no, he
It
hasn't
was,
been to the
well, it was
rock
kind of
shop.
more hippie.
I've never been to the garage shop.
I tried to see that one.
Hey,
I was
ladies,
like,
you like
grass.
to get groovy? You want
But
some
anyway,
grass?
Ride the
So
bus, man.
we're having Sea Level CD release. You
Yeah.
guys
What CD? I'm sorry.
are. We just had an album release.
No, when?
2023.
2023? Yeah, 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
it was like winter.
Well,
Yeah.
Anyways, to that we
March
actually, we
3rd.
played with.
Yes.
So I knew Jackson from high school. Our
Okay.
second drummer. I knew him from high school. He was in my friend's band. We
Best
played,
drummer of the band.
but second best.
No, I
Tied
think
for
best.
tied for second best. First is the first. You know, as I always say. No, but no, I knew him from high school. We played a show with him in his band, and so we already had kind of a rapport going, and he knew about what we were all about, and yeah, I didn't know if he would do it or not. So we had like my friend was there, sort of like a social lubricant.
Yeah, I also feel like we kind of like we lucked out because of you, because we had like a grog shop show.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like
Yeah.
we were like, we have a big show. Do you want to fill in? So I think that really, and like, I don't know. It took like a couple practices, I think, to really like.
Well, he was
mesh,
more of like a straight kind of jazzy prog
yeah,
drummer.
grooving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
Like-
some of the heavy stuff, it took him a minute. But once we were like really playing, it was like it fit perfectly. And not to keep bringing up the Clash, but he had such a topper head,
Yeah.
kind of drumming, which
Who are you talking about?
Topper from the Clash.
Jackson.
No, yeah.
Click.
I mean, if you're into Brand X and Genesis, I mean,
Click
he fucking knows what
Williams.
he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had, I think, just a wider range of like drum influences than maybe Steven had. You know, not to say Steven doesn't listen to a lot of music, but I don't think he's not like a drummer first and foremost.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jackson is like a drum, so he just like knows the
Bass
drums.
and drums.
And
is,
bass,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
so he's just
you're
like-
a huge fan of fucking Phil Collins. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
can see that
after
easily.
our album release,
We
you-
then asked him to be permanent.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was really awkward.
Yeah,
Jackson,
Well,
Did he have to buy?
I remember
We passed
us.
him a note.
Did he have
Well,
to
no,
buy
'cause-
bus passes for everyone that day? Or
My favorite thing was Cameron asked his friend Nate, who played keyboard, and that was kind of what Cameron was saying, the social lubricant. Cameron was like, texted Nate and was like, so like, what's Jackson's thoughts on like being in the band like permanently? He's like, oh, Jackson's down, but you guys have to ask him. Like it's like a date or something.
Yeah.
So like we're like, who's gonna do it?
I
Who's gonna
love
do it?
that.
And eventually,
I fucking love
I
that.
know. Eventually, I just like we were done with the song, and I was just like, Jackson, we have a question for you. He's like, yeah. Would you like to drum with us?
oh my god, I would have done the same thing. Too.
Yeah.
I would have done the same.
and then Jackson said,
I wouldn't even
He's like,
said anything.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have much going on, you know, because his band was kind of breaking up because
Yeah.
everyone
What was his band?
moving.
Um,
Strangers in a Car.
Yeah.
Oh, cool name.
So yeah. Yeah. They're-
Really good like soul band.
Do they have
Yeah.
recordings anywhere?
Yeah.
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 On
They
the
do.
ground.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drumming was pretty okay.
What's the name of the band again?
Strangers in a Car.
Strangers.
in a Car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But anyway, so Jackson starts playing with you guys.
Yeah.
And as that's
I-
going, we're going to record with Henry. We're going to record in this abandoned building, and we're going to make a vinyl. When did
That
all?
was way late. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of that just kind of came out of accident and necessity because we were kind of trying to make the record with Steven.
He left
but
us with a lot of recordings.
Yeah,
and it just
his
didn't.
parts, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like we didn't really know what we were gonna do. We didn't know what Henry was up for because there was like a lot of stuff happened before that because that was all like the Tower City thing
Oh,
happened
yeah.
before that.
Yeah.
The play. happened right after.
Like
But,
it was almost like Jackson became. It wasn't just like kind of like a fill, and he almost like
Yeah.
became endeared. And he kind of immediately took on this like much more structural role.
Yeah.
And broad role in it. Yeah.
And
So-
I think we learned because we had because we were no longer making the record with Steven, there were a few songs he sang that we were no longer going to have on the record. So we had these kind of blank slots.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Cameron and I each wrote a song, and then Jackson wrote a song.
Yeah.
And those three songs, like, I think are our favorite structurally. And it was just like
Yeah.
all like, oh, we have this drummer that's a drummer first and foremost, and we can really like get cooking on different styles, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Because
yeah.
those the next batch of tunes are they go in way different directions in a way.
Yeah.
They would like more not experimental, but more like reaching for more, which was cool, which
Yeah.
made them really stick out. We got to talk about the play because the play happened in between, and what was the other thing that happened in between? There's the play
We were talking
Nashville.
about the Tower City show.
Tower
yeah.
City.
Tower. Yes, the Tower.
Yeah, so
What
that
year was
happened
the
right
Tower
after
City show?
Jackson
23.
joined.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
first thing I saw of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, the Tower City show happened first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was hope that
Tower City
Wow, really?
happened because one of my coworkers
who was at
First thing I
Becky's.
saw you guys.
who
I saw you
I
guys.
no, she was Marina was not at Becky's, but Marina like very well knew of the band.
Why?
There was a partnership where we were working with RTA, like the library is working with RTA to do like a book giving day on, I think it was like National Read a Book Day. It was like a national holiday that we
No.
that we were doing something for, and Marina, like independently of me, independently of anything, was brought up in a meeting like, oh, we should have the Frans play at RTA because we have like posts at West Park, we have a post at Windermere and RTA. I think those were the three posts.
And that was in Tower City.
yeah,
At the bus
yeah,
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at
Train
the at the
station.
train
Sorry, train
station,
Yeah.
which is in the basement of Tower City. So I think Marina confirmed with us that we were available and we wanted to play it. And I think Gabe at one time said, "Oh, this is our Wembley."
Yeah. I recall that.
So Hope, you got that gig?
Yeah.
That's the reason
Yep.
why this band is successful.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
reason
yeah.
I joined
Definitely.
the
Well-
band because I saw that performance.
Well, there was like
Were
two,
you there?
No, but I saw it.
Oh, okay.
There was like two sides to, I think, like
Matt
us.
was catching the bus.
And like we had this kind of like, play at dive bars, and usually we still did a lot of benefit stuff then. And then
Yeah.
we also had this sort of like
Olympic
Like a more
dives
corporate,
and-
yeah.
and where we would just take these kind of gigs that were like kind of governmental.
Yeah.
And
But
But at
and,
this
and
gig,
like that side of it's all
It
because
worked.
all because of Hope.
at
Oh,
this-
well-
We just had a lot of like Hope just like had the connections with Cleveland Public Library, and they
John.
Well, and
they
later, like connections with RTA itself
Yeah.
because of that. Yeah.
and they were both hurting for public for
Public
good
transit
images.
rock band.
They were both in midst of scandals.
They were
RTA
like-
just killed a kid.
Oh fuck yeah! What year?
They just
2022.
it was a well they
If it was just
Well, did you-
RTA was still doing their Dostoevsky practice where they would take all their employees out for a assassination,
Oh nice.
and then at the last second pardon them.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like
the
random
benevolent
bus drivers
gods they are.
Yeah,
Was
and
there
then
a chandelier?
So like,
somewhere?
actually, before we
Okay.
go to that stop, you may exit now.
yes.
Wow.
So they were both needing a public good image, but no.
But anyway, at that gig, after,
Oh, okay. Wait.
Wait.
So before we did that gig, the director asked me, "Does your
CPL.
band the director of CPL? He asked me, does your band want to perform in the Borderlight Theater Festival?" Like he's involved in some way, shape, or form. So the Borderlight Theater Festival is an international. It's like a fringe festival.
Is
so
a full band or like acoustic?
so
or-
basically full band. We could choose what we wanted to do, but we're like, if we're all here, like why, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
Right.
So a fringe festival is an experimental theater festival that
I like that
happens like in different countries. Like it originated in Scotland, and they have the biggest one. But Cleveland's version of that is Borderlight. So now every other year they do an international fringe festival, and then on the off year they do like a national festival.
So why didn't you do it?
So why did we do it?
Why didn't you?
no, they did.
No, we did.
You did do it.
Yeah.
You didn't know about the play, man?
I don't.
The Frans is like one of the
right
craziest
when we
bands.
met, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a big Nanny fan, so I joined the band because I'm a Fran Drescher fan.
But anyway, before we get to so that happens,
I just like nannies.
discussing.
Yeah.
during
So
before-
he
weird
so he
thing.
asks. So the director asks me, "Does the Friends want to do this play?" And like almost without asking anyone, I said yes because RTA was going to pay
Truth
us.
comes out.
Oh, cool.
Because RTA was going to pay us because they would, like, them and the library would partner together and sponsor the Borderlight Festival. And I was like, oh, we could like actually get some money from this, and this could be really cool. So like, maybe I got a yes in the group text from either Gabe or Cameron, but it wasn't both. And then I just said yes.
Is the Steven group chat?
But before any of that happened, at Tower City, India Birdsong was there, right?
India Birdsong.
And you met the mayor.
And who is India Birdsong? India Birdsong is the CEO of RTA.
Oh,
Yep, she saw the Frans.
yeah.
Fucking name it.
But you guys play at Tower City. It's crazy. I got there real
Yeah.
late. I remember having to help you move a bunch of gear from there to the library.
Yeah.
And then I remember you guys meeting the mayor and that whole bit coming to an end. And what was the story? He was like, "I like Oasis," or "I like."
No, we're not allowed to say that.
No, you guys,
But we will anyways.
He asked us that story.
No, he asked us not to.
He asked us to never tell the story, but we will. He said he wanted to join Hanson really badly.
That's what it was.
And he sent a letter to an email to Hanson.
Bib, Mayor Bib.
Yeah, he's.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mayor Jackson. No, they both wanted to be in Hanson.
Yeah. It was. It's actually. I found out later. It's part of Case Weatherhead School of Management. It's how to relate to the commoner 101.
Yeah.
It's like tell them you want to join a rock band.
Dib-a-dub-dub, doo-dub.
That's
Yeah.
Zip-a-dub-dub, bop.
But no, yeah, he was friendly, I guess. I don't know. He laughed pretty.
Yeah, like a 4 seconds into the first song,
Yeah.
he was on the escalator leaving, but he heard a little bit.
We gave him a sticker that he promptly put in the trash.
Really?
No, but
Okay.
at his desk, oh, absolutely.
He said, yeah, he
You
said-
better believe it was in the trash.
Yeah.
He told us late. He called us and said, "Hey, remember that sticker?" And we're like, "Yeah."
And you
Threw
just-
it away.
You hear like
Shows
a
you a picture of his trash can.
Yeah. But we later helped us campaign a little.
yeah.
Continue.
We-
What's that?
Continue.
Killed Kevin Kelly. No.
Yeah.
It probably failed.
Yeah, it wasn't musical. It was, we did
Paperwork,
some
legislation.
slander and
What happened?
No.
we can't talk about
Yeah.
the outcome, but we can talk about like what we did and
The solution.
the solution.
Yeah.
But-
Choice words.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So yeah, that was that show.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Cameron and I always like Steven really wanted to record, and we were down if because we thought Steven was leaving and it would be a long time before we found another drummer. But Cameron and I were always kind of like, let's wait to record till we need to,
yeah.
and wait till people are asking about it, because we didn't want to just like force a record on people.
Yeah. I think
when
wait
we're
till
not,
people
because that's when we're not ready. You
Yeah.
know, you're
Yeah.
ready when everybody else is ready to hear it. I think.
the other
So
thing
the order
too
was
is like
up.
what I always like. I think the music I was listening to at the time on repeat was The Doors, a Velvet Underground, Nico, the Velvet Underground, Please Please Me, the Beatles.
Hey, man. Fucking
just the
Never
first
Jim's a
heard of
fucking
any of these, yeah.
amazing
first
vocalist.
album of a lot of bands I was really attracted
Fuck
to.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was just there's a rawness to the Ramones.
The Clash.
Yeah, there's a rawness to it, and there's
Rancid.
yeah, there's like a
Black Sabbath.
yeah, but there's like first off they're all named after themselves, which is awesome. But also
Black Flag. The first 4 years.
yeah. But there's like a road worn, like battle worn sound to it, and it's all super tight and all super. So that was always like, I think both of our attitudes, like whatever we get, like let's really kind of like have it be played out a lot
Man,
before
it's a
we
live
record.
energy.
Yeah,
You need like it's just like inevitable that you need that.
And that's why like
It's
I,
such a
I really
plastic
wanted
sound,
to work
like-
with Henry.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Because Henry and I have recorded a lot together, and we used to record everything separate
yeah.
when we were young, stupid kids.
So we're talking about Henry Rapp.
I heard he was a drummer.
Henry
was
is
a
a drummer.
yeah.
What happened?
long
He
story.
had a baby.
Yeah,
a baby.
baby.
Yeah.
baby,
He shot a baby out.
loser.
He shot a
He had a
baby
fucking
and had to
baby.
go to jail for a while.
No,
But
well, but I guess like we were gonna kind of record it like piecemeal with
Yeah.
Steven record all the drum tracks and his vocal tracks, and like
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, and like we're gonna do it that way, and then we just sort of like first like we were working through it, and we're just like this just doesn't feel right, that was really it. It was just like we're a live band, we should
Yeah.
record it live.
And that's Henry's attitude too. Is he's like that's like one thing he's learned along the way of all his recording and stuff was like,
Well,
bands should play live and then
Yeah.
do vocals later. Because he's like, you're never gonna capture the
Well,
sound of a band.
He's mixed, I think, me once or twice. Me as a drummer once.
Yeah,
Why does it sound horrible? Like what?
sounds so
Comes
bad.
out.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Well, all right. Before diving into the process after Henry Rapp was recruited for the recording process,
Yeah,
in between the play happens.
Which
And-
I really want to make a point that Jackson Williams
Yeah.
saved the play.
So there's this whole debacle.
How did he save the play?
Well, explain the play to Matt because he has no clue. This is
Play
Matt
was
and
in
the
the
audience.
hospital.
So the Frans.
I am the audience.
Play was
Yes.
sick and gnome.
So there was so Somehow I managed to get X amount from RTA. I really made a whole.
How much did you pocket?
Let's pin
I
that
pocketed
later.
$0 is what you need.
Pennies.
Anybody needs to know. $0, 0 pennies.
Bitcoin?
Negative even.
Bitcoin?
Negative. Fucking negative.
No crypto?
They got paid in bus passes. Continue.
Oh, what that?
No, but here's the thing. RTA cannot give out passes like little
right.
candies. It's actually crazy. But anyway, Jackson Williams saved the show because I am not a fan of like writing a work and then acting in it. I feel like that's like too much getting up your own ass and the product is going to be terrible.
I feel like that in everything
feel like
I
that's
do.
theater.
Everything I fucking do. It's like, oh, me.
So I don't know. So and I hate it and I can't do it. So Jackson was like outright the most willing to act because Jackson had like acted and stuff in high school and was like, I loved doing that.
Yeah.
Please let me do that again.
Yeah, Jackson in high school. Well, his sister was big theater person, and Jackson was a big theater person too. I really recall he was. I think he was John Proctor in The Crucible.
Nice.
Fun fact. Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in.
Me too.
Yeah, Jackson graduated in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't
yes.
graduate.
Fucking old shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
So,
but yeah,
Jackson saves the play, but explain because there's not too many bands that before they have an album do write and perform a play.
we were.
So explain the play.
So
that people can't see.
I wrote at least 4 completely different versions of this play, but all the previous 3 versions Cameron and Gabe poo-pooed, which is fair because they were not good.
Stick with the one that hit it.
The 4th version was like, okay, I think we can work with this. And then at some point I realized and Gabe and Cameron also realized it's going to be way too much work to hire actors. Like we can't do it. Like it's just we can't.
Which is disappointing because I was going to be the bus.
So but the person who was the most on board with acting was Jackson.
Yeah.
And like I made Jackson basically the star. Like it turned into like a public transit history game show and Jackson was the host. And Jackson killed it like every single night. Jackson killed it. He had little cue cards with his questions and lines, which like fit the world.
Which you guys would rehearse.
Which
here in Ohio
which
Inn.
we rehearsed in the Ohio Inn, thanks to Greg.
And he was really good at improvising too.
Yeah, Greg was a
Kinda like
great improviser.
Yeah.
Jackson or Greg.
Or Jackson.
Both.
Yeah. Oh, what did I say?
You said
said
Greg.
Oh shit,
Greg, you're a great improviser too.
Jackson.
You're dealing with our shit every night.
But
yeah,
the one of the most difficult things about that play was that once I submitted the script to RTA, they said, "Oh, we can't verify any of the historical points of this script." And then I had to go and provide sources for every
Which is
single
crazy
thing that
'cause
I
it was all
brought.
positive.
It was It was a little
Yeah.
crazy. But thanks to Melissa Carr, the Cleveland Public Library's institutional archivist, and also the historian of the RTA, I was like, okay, I need to find sources for everything that I say. So we did that, and then it worked. And then Jackson was able to ask the appropriate question, improvise, and then basically I was the straight man, and I gave the factual answer that RTA wanted.
Right. And then-
Oh man, without Jackson, there's no
Yeah.
way.
I think some of the things I remember from that whole process was, well, first off, the creative drive and conception of the band was always kind of shared between me and Gabe. So, the play was always sort of we both agreed well, this is sort of Hope's domain. They studied playwriting, and was just more of an expert. But there was also this clash of but it's sort of conceptual. This is a very high concept piece.
Yeah.
And so it was just sort of a push and pull of well, we need to have it kind of this way and then that way and this way. So there was that. And I think every time we'd probably come to practice after one revision of the script and be like, Jackson, so you're actually going to be now like a congressman and you're trying to get votes. And he's like, okay, yeah. And then the next practice, Jackson, okay, so now we're going to change it to be like, okay, yeah. You know, he'd always be down. But and then Hope had it also. So not only was Hope, you know, trying to kind of balance between Gabe and my lunacy, but was also like was the
At one point
liaison.
it was going to be a funeral.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was going to be.
There was a ghost. I wrote a whole
like
part for a ghost.
But yeah, but like then Hope was also like the liaison between the library and the
and RTA. Oh my God.
So it was like Hope was just getting like would be like, Hope, we want to do this, and then Hope was like a network censor for like NBC in like the 1980s, and like everyone was doing like it would be like Gabe and I'd be like, Hope, we want to do this, and then Hope was like, well, let me make sure that's okay with the RTA, and the RTA is like, no, you can't do that, but we want you to do this, and then Hope was like, well, okay, let me ask that, and then it'd be like 40 different people, just like
I was
crazy
like,
balancing
I
act.
was feeling a lot of pressure.
And at this time, Jackson said, I'm moving to Toledo.
Yeah.
And we hadn't recorded the record yet. So
right.
we had to like record the record.
And we were playing a trip
We
to
did the
Nashville.
live
What-
tracks, and we were playing in Nashville. We recorded the live
What month
tracks.
of the year was this?
So the
August
play
of last
happened in
year.
August, but we were
2024,
asked
three.
to participate in the festival in April. So there was like maybe like how many months is that? 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we recorded the live tracks, did three evenings of the play, and then the next week went to Nashville.
Yeah.
Like in that short span, because Jackson was like, I'm not going to be able to be as much a part of the band anymore because I'm going to be in Toledo. So we were like, fuck, now we got to like get this done. So we recorded it at a former laundry facility, the Armstrong Laundry Facility.
West 73rd in Lake Avenue.
The best natural reverb in the business.
Actually,
you can
it's-
download the app somewhere now.
It's
Yeah.
the,
I-
it's
I-
not
I
Called
know you
Armstrong
can.
Reverb.
Yeah.
it's not the best. It's the cleanest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it's a
Yeah.
Laundry.
laundromat.
The best is subjective. The best.
But yeah, so all these things were happening all at once, and it was also all contingent on one another. I think, like,
Yeah.
Well,
like
and
a lot of
Yeah, because we wanted to put the record out on vinyl, so
Yeah,
we were like,
but we
okay, we need the
couldn't-
money for the
yeah.
thing and blah blah blah. And yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's like, and we also, I think, frankly, just needed a little bit of like the, like publicity in some regard, you know, just like reaching a bunch of.
Well,
some juice?
and
I think
like
that got us the Noaka
through
thing.
that, like before the show had even happened, like when Borderlight was producing all their marketing material, we got like a half-page ad because the library paid for it. We got like a huge ad with this like wonderful picture that my friend Lexi Deet created. I asked Melissa Carr, the institutional archivist, for
Melissa more than anyone.
because she's the best.
She is the best.
So Melissa found. Oh no, it wasn't Melissa. I think it was Terry Metter.
Let's just say it was Melissa anyway.
So anyway, someone at the library found for us like a few images from like RTA archives and CPL's archives, and we found a picture like on the bus, and Lexi photoshopped me and Gabe and Cameron to be playing our instruments on the bus like in the 40s or 50s, and that's the image that we used for Borderlight, and they gave us like this huge half-page ad.
That's awesome.
Which was really cool. And so through that, Noaka, the
East Ohio
Northeast
area-wide coordinating agency.
beautiful.
I might have left out a word.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
So,
But they found it through that. Yeah.
So before even seeing the show, Noaka like reached out to like the Frans email and said,
They said, yeah. Oh, they asked us to do.
Hey guys,
Hey, guys.
this is Northeast.
That's how I read it in
Pictures
my
look
head.
boss.
I'm a really slow reader, so it was like, hey,
hello,
friends.
friend.
We represent
Marijuana.
so yeah, I just got an email. They wanted us to do the play again and like a hour-long concert. And
at a conference.
yeah, at
National
a conference.
the National Conference for Transit Planning Agencies.
Yeah.
What, you guys did the play again there?
No, they
Oh,
asked
okay.
us to,
We s-
and we were like, we just kind of want to do we're
Yeah.
just
We're a rock
now.
band, man.
We're a rock band, and
So knowing the ultimate failure of the band,
Yeah.
do those people who publish that hate themselves for fake journalism?
Yeah.
No, they love themselves for
Fake
supporting.
news?
No, I mean the
Couple of
event went
hungry
off
peop-
fine. So anyway, so you guys, is that in between recording the record that show?
Yeah,
as
so
well?
we had done the live tracks, but
Okay.
Noaka was, I think we had
September.
just started vocals.
Yeah.
And
We
you
were,
did
we're
vocals
still
at
working
Henry's
on it.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
so
much
we-
auto-tune was
All of it.
All of it. Actually, there's none of us
Just
singing.
just
it's
on the
just
bass.
auto-tune.
On the bass, we did auto tune.
Well, yeah.
The voices we didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think. Oh, it says locked.
Who's that?
My friend Kaylin. Matt,
Oh,
will you let
Kaylin's here.
her- Yeah.
Well, I think Greg might have locked the door.
Well,
Yeah.
But anyways.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was all kind of really. It just everything started like coming back to back right
Yeah.
around then, and it was like we were kind of like on like a lot of deadlines and stuff like that.
But we were also deciding then, like, because Jackson was kind of a long distance drummer, and we were kind of feeling that, and I think he was feeling that way too, that we needed someone to be more full time.
Yeah.
And that's when I suggested this guy named Matt
Yeah,
that I met on the streets. He really needed a job, and I said, "Do you know how to play drums?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Too bad." And I gave him 2 drumsticks
and a Chuck Berry record.
and a Chuck Berry record and a bag of smack, and he learned the parts. I gave him the recordings, and
Locked him in room 19E in the Brill building.
yeah. So, yeah, he learned the songs, and then he was,
what year was this?
1963.
yeah. This was last.
What
this was
portion of
about
the
a
year?
year ago.
That's when we
This was
shared an
about a year
office
ago.
with Phil.
What time of the year?
So
September.
Jackson.
Oh, so kind of spall.
It was in
Spall,
Spall, yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is how Matt kind of joined the band.
I
And-
went like,
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
and more.
Wow.
But yeah,
and that's
Noaka was our last show with Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the record's recorded,
Yeah.
mixed, mastered.
We're planning a tour.
Right. While all this
March.
is happening, waiting for
Yeah.
the vinyl to come out.
Yeah. Teaching Matt the songs.
Teaching
Yeah.
Matt the songs and
What
prepping
happened?
for the album release show.
Did we talk
Yeah.
about the other people we interviewed, or not interviewed,
never
but we
learned
auditioned
songs.
for drumming?
Yeah,
I don't think
you
we
don't
need
need to
to.
mention that.
And how no, but just how like immediate it was that Matt was the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, like it was funny because
It was like instant.
glad-
well,
make the
our
band
first,
fail.
the first person we interviewed, he was really awkward. He came in, and we all were kind of making fun of his nose. He's like, "Stop it, I'm a Beatle." And we said,
I'm right here.
We said, "Sorry, Ringo."
But no,
right
I
there,
do-
yeah,
I
it
do
was immediate
remember-
no.
I do remember Gabe talking with Gabe about all this while this was going on, and Gabe being like, "There's this guy I work with, Matt. I really want him to be the drummer." Like even before hearing just digging Matt's vibe, he's got to be a good player. And then the ultimate payoff when, yeah, no, Kaylin, come on, hop on Greg's mic. You're now at the
go
Ohio.
around, go on Greg's mic.
Yeah, go on Greg's mic.
Take his wallet,
and then
You are now Greg.
You are now Greg.
Deal with it.
We're at the Ohio Inn. Kaylin's now here because I think we're cutting into whatever events we're going on later.
Yeah, it's all good, but yeah, we'll keep going.
Sweet.
Hello, my name
We're
is
almost at
Greg.
the end.
I run the Ohio Inn.
The band's almost broken
Greg,
up.
I hear you have a new EP coming out.
Yeah,
What's it
September 27th. It's called We Will Figure It Out.
We'll figure it out and it's
Yeah,
available on what
but this isn't my
platforms?
podcast, so
Right,
Yeah.
right. But
I was-
no, totally.
this is not Greg's show.
Because we talked about doing one anyway. So
This is it. That's all you get.
that was the podcast.
But anyways, so yeah, Matt joins the band. We're working on, waiting for the record. We're getting, Cameron and I have like 100 new songs that we're working on, and
Yeah.
They're
having
all horrible.
yeah, we should have stuck to the old songs.
I just yeah.
I came with gold, and they said, just beat those sticks.
We had to
Yeah.
It was
tape
a
the sticks in his hand because
Yeah.
Matt kept being like, "Let me show you the song I wrote on guitar," and we were like, "No," and so we had to hold
Yeah.
him down and tape the sticks to his hand.
Matt was in a acoustic duo act. Matt, of course, is Matt Garfunkel.
yeah.
doesn't like to talk about the act. But
Yeah.
The Garfunkelers.
Granddaddy Art.
Yeah.
Granddaddy Art. Granddaddy Art in the Flash 5.
no, but yeah, like Matt was just kind of it's just again it just took us to another side of like like every single time we hit these points where we were kind of like, well, what do we do now? You know, and there's like we kind of like, well, I guess we could, and it's just you always like at those points someone just kind of came into the scene and just sort of like kept us moving along, you know, which is always kind of cool, just how spontaneous that was. I think that so much of our success was just someone just came and just reinvigorated us, and we're like, yeah, this is kind of fun, and we like it kind of became new again, you know,
Yeah.
because like Steven's drumming was. He was very a proficient drummer, and he was a very structural drummer, and he really I think helped us in the early days.
And really loud, which I think helped getting people to dance like the first couple
You
shows.
gotta be fucking loud as a drummer.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. I go to a show and the drummer's so quiet.
Yeah.
The show sucks.
That's why I
So
stopped
if your
going to
drummer
Cleveland
sucks,
Orchestra.
Your band sucks. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. And it's like, so I mean, and then we got to a point like on musically with the drummer, it was just Steven was leaving, and we got someone who just kind of changed the vibe. You know, I think Gabe always says their song "Bus of Elysium" was written with Jackson in mind with drumming.
Yeah.
And so Jackson's just kind of had a groove to. He had a jazz background. He was, I think, one of the he was one of the drummers in our high school jazz band.
It's a fun song to play.
Yeah.
I always try to play like him.
Yeah. And Jackson also was the snare drummer in our marching band.
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of I was the drum major, so we'd have to.
Oh, really?
I was.
Who would ever listen to you?
Yeah, I would be conducting the band. Jackson was drumming, so we'd have to have this kind of synergy.
Jim Jacobs type
Yeah?
thing?
Yeah, I'd be conducting it, and I was conducting it based on Jackson's feet.
Huh.
He'd be stepping in time, and I was watching him and conducting it based on him. So yeah, we always had this sort of connection, musically.
Yeah. That's cool. No, I
really
know.
weird.
That's
yeah,
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. But so he had this kind of just I think like this really big vocabulary of rhythm, and then Matt, like once Matt got to the scene, he just had.
I ruined it.
He ruined it.
No more rhythm.
He came with this sort of
free-form.
debauched values. No, he had this. Matt just has. I always say this. He just had this rock and roll sensibility that I don't think, and I don't mean this as a diss on Steven or Jackson, but he just had this like real like old school, like rock sense that like in my dreams of Matt, I think of it as like. You know, like people come up the pipeline, the Mississippi River, and wind up in Chicago, and it's just this melting pot of all those things. And that's where
live in New Orleans.
Yeah, and that's where Chess Records was at, you know, and you know Matt just has this kind of like, you know, just old school sound to it. So
Chess Chicago.
it just every time we just were at a point like something would kind of change, and I think kind of like, oh yeah, we like playing in the band again.
I feel like with each drummer, there was like a new iteration of my understanding of the bass. Mm-hmm. Like with Steven, I was like just absolutely learning the fundamentals, like learning, you know, when to like pluck a string or just learning the absolute bare minimum. And then with Jackson, it got like a little bit more advanced, and I was like, oh, like I can choose to play notes at these times that the drummer does whatever. And then I feel like Matt was for me when I kind of actualized like how the drum and the bass work together. And I feel like me and Matt are really good partners in that way.
I agree. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. My favorite part was locking in.
Yeah. And
let
like,
them noodle. And
yeah, it was like so
Such noodlers.
exciting to like,
Cameron and I are just always going.
but like I felt like I had a partner.
noodles, I'm slapping.
Like pool noodles.
But I feel like me and Matt even though we didn't get the opportunity to record together, we like really created a partnership. Like we were locked in, and I was always so excited by that.
Yeah, I ruined that with a toothache.
Oh, that's okay.
We'll put a pin in that toothache. Come on, you did not ruin it. You're being so hard on. I'm gonna edit all the bullshit out. Matt keeps saying.
I like to make mistakes.
Just mute Matt.
I'm just gonna hold on. Yeah, I'm muting all the bullshit.
That's my name, Mute Matt.
Mute Matt.
But anyway,
No, you're dingbat.
and like, so I think that was a really like, and sadly Jackson's no longer with us, which is a crazy event by itself. But that whole experience with running drumline with him to being in a band with him, that's a really cool like maturity of artistic expression and being able to share that with him.
Was it just like the movie Drumline?
It was just like the movie Drumline. Nick Carter
it was more like
there.
the movie Dodgeball.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool, and it was really cool just to see his artistry mature and change. You know? I don't know, and it was always cool too just to see little moments in a lot of the songs where it'd be like, you got a little bit of the old high school like snare line in you, you know? So that was always fun, or seeing little things of, I remember played something like that in jazz band, seeing how he changes and stuff like that. And that was something I think, like Gabe, I know some of Gabe's influences really well, but you know, it's always like what Hope would sort of bring to the table with singing and some of the bass lines, and what the drummers would bring, that always sort of just like made it interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone had their kind of own little thing, which was always really fun.
I want to give a shout out to Dave because Dave bought me a series of vocal lessons.
Oh. Yeah, but that was like way so late in the fucking game.
No, but like
Yeah,
we were
too
still
little, too
gonna.
late.
No, but it.
Too late, Dave.
I loved it. That's like something I've wanted to do ever since I was like a little kid because I really like singing.
I want to do that. I would love to do vocal lessons.
Dave, do we want to go in on some vocal lessons for Matt?
It's a long
all
story.
To
for
discuss
Matt.
later.
Let's just all
Let's
talk.
discuss it later.
All right, if you
Listen,
donate in the link below, you
I
can
can
get
get
this
pretty
drummer some
deep.
vocal. Ooh,
I
is that
can
Johnny
get
Cash? I
pretty
can't
deep.
tell who's on the line.
I can go deep.
Damn, this is the deepest shit I've ever
Yes.
heard.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the record gets pressed.
Yeah.
You have the show.
Yeah,
and the
hold on.
craziest.
Can we have Kaylin tell the story of the show?
No, the record pressing. I want to bring this up too. We picked it up on the bus.
Oh,
we took
yeah.
it home on the bus.
We chose a local record pressing.
We don't want to give
So
them.
you
Company.
went and you picked it up where?
We picked it up. We
Where?
don't want to say. We
What's
don't
the place
give
called?
We don't want to give them any publicity.
Come on.
No. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want.
Sony.
Those
It was
guys.
called We Need to Jam Records.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Urgently,
Need to Jam Records,
Oh.
yeah.
urgently dance.
Got a noodle.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, but we picked
it's
it up on the
amazing.
bus. Yeah.
Hi,
so
Greg.
Greg's still here.
What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time.
But anyway, you pick it. I didn't know you guys did that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The whole anyway. So you get the vinyl.
It saved us a lot on shipping.
Yeah, you know it, and it also not them having them put it or package it at all saved a lot on.
Did you all listen to it together?
No.
No, we never did.
How are you a band?
We never
We
did.
never listened to it.
Gabe and I did, and
You've never listened to it.
No, we have.
no. We're like Woody Allen never watched any of his movies, and we always had
Do
a
it, Woody
Well,
Allen
let's not
does.
bring him
I'd say
into
we
this.
always had a Woody
Please,
Allen thing.
let's not bring him into this.
Cameron and I together.
I mean,
we
it
know
just, if it
I mean,
makes you
if
guys
it's
feel any
Frans,
better,
there's
I never
Woody.
listened to it either.
It's always, like in the record liner notes, I think we have a line that's like somewhere between Allen and Ginsberg.
But yeah, Cameron and I listened to the test pressing, I think.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And
you
we
said dope.
said cool.
Basically, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
we were
both
like,
just
wow.
wow.
Wow, we're in those little grooves.
Wow,
Yeah.
I wish my guitar was louder.
That's what Matt said.
Matt said that a lot. Yeah,
I wish
no,
my
it was
guitar
really-
was louder.
It was
on this
really cool,
record.
and
We kept having to remind Matt he wasn't. Matt suffered a nearly fatal head injury.
yeah.
And so we have to remind him that he hasn't always been in the band.
Which Matt?
Yeah, exactly.
Bubba.
Hey, I'm not in the band yet, but my guitar should be louder.
But then
There was, well, I was going to say too, with the record was like the process, we were both really just like, I don't know if this is going to happen in time. I don't know if it's going to come.
well, yeah.
And there'd be like, we'd get like we got to test pressing. And then it'd be like, and we'd listen to that and we'd be like, wow, this is something. And then I think what really blew me away was when we got the sleeves.
Oh yeah,
done.
the jackets.
The jackets, yeah. That was like, to me.
Sleeves or jackets?
Jackets.
Sleeves.
Covers.
But we got those, and that was, I thought, really rad.
Like for the records, not like we got matching
No,
leather.
you guys
The
got
jackets.
packaging.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
packaging.
Yeah, yeah, and like, because it was Gabe's uncle did the art on it, and
Eric
the
Rippert.
Eric River, yeah, and the
I
back.
thought it was French Eric Rapport.
No,
No.
he's
Rippert.
just an American like us, but
He's an American.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
and the back, Gabe and I designed it. So we both kind of worked on it together. Yeah, and that was really, because it's just so big, you know, and it's like that's something I like. A lot of people that make songs now just like, you know, they upload something to Bandcamp, like
Hey, don't call me out like this.
yeah.
He made direct eye contact
they-
with me when he
Come on,
said,
Greg.
just uploaded it to Bandcamp.
I mean, it's, and I don't mean it.
back
I
talk,
mean,
Greg.
I really say this, that I was just really lucky that Gabe really pushed to get it on vinyl. That like we were able to have it so big,
Yeah.
you know, and have this large.
It is super
And
cool.
it's beautiful, and there's like portraits of me, Cameron, Gabe, and Jackson taken by my friend Lexi,
Yeah, it's
like
fucking
in the
awesome.
recording studio. And
Yeah.
and
On
I
the
feel
back.
like when
And SpongeBob.
Henry's
Fry.
also in one of the photos.
Yeah,
is he
Yeah, you can see him behind me. In the photo of me, you can see
Who?
him behind me.
Henry.
nice?
Henry?
Yeah.
He's-
But
And
I,
Not
also-
Henry
he played-
different Henry.
yeah,
Lord Henry from Picture of Dorian Gray.
yeah.
but I feel like, especially having Jackson that prominent is like super special. And I know, like, I'm not the jokey one. I'm the very sincere Fran.
Really?
But
That's not true.
sometimes we
Why you
need to
gotta
have
lie? 'Cause
that.
it's a podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, it is something to have, like, not just, like, uploading a thing, you know, to
Yeah.
have something physical like that. And it's also very expensive to do. It's not an easy thing you could just do. So you got to believe in what you're doing as much as it costs to make, you know, a couple hundred records. But it comes to the release show, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen happen. Because Sea Level played, Cellophane Jane played, Kiss Me Deadly did, and was at the 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then the show's going weird. Lights keep going out at different times and then coming back on. We play. It gets to you guys. Everyone's there, ready to get the array for the Frans set. And then all the power is just gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Kiss Me Deadly opened it, and I remember kind of near the end of the set, Jen was like, of the band was like, up next, the Frans, and then you hear a, and it goes
it was
dark.
insane.
Goes
Well, it
dark
wasn't-
for
it
10
wasn't-
seconds, and then
yeah.
the light comes back on.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh, that was kind of odd.
We're all setting up at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The place
yeah.
is packed.
And
Well,
it's,
That's after us, because we played before you guys.
no, I said, like when Jen comes on. Jen, so this is like right when the band, like,
Well, you
right when
you
Kiss Me
emptied
Deadly
the
opens.
place. and
Right,
No one
right.
wanted to hear that.
We got rid of our.
Yeah.
We emptied the room. I'm trying to point out how amazing this is.
Yeah,
That they came back.
but yeah, right at the beginning of the show, because Kiss Me Deadly opened it. That happened, and
right. So that
it was just odd. Yeah,
Case one. And
Yeah.
then Cellophane comes out
yeah.
and happens again.
Does it? I wasn't.
It happened-
It happened like twice during their set,
Right.
Wow.
but
Yeah.
for very short periods.
Yeah, and then
Happened once during our set at the very beginning.
yeah, and something too. I just thought the PAs were just sounding odd. Like when I was listening to you guys and Kiss Me Deadly, I was like, oh,
It
that's,
sounded good. I can tell because there was like a gain to it. So I love that sound.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of overdrive.
Right.
That's why I fucking loved it. So I can. It makes sense why everything happened. Because there's
Yeah.
just so much overdrive.
yeah. And,
right.
But we got on, and it's just the power's out, dead. Just
Yep.
and
And
you know,
you guys just set up, and I remember
we just
Gabe,
set up. Yeah.
I remember Gabe looking at the audience and being like, we're taking the show to the Ohio Inn down the street.
Yeah.
Everyone go over there.
Meanwhile, when that announcement was made, we had not contacted Greg at all. We
Which I
didn't know
think-
if...
Can we get, Greg,
Gabe's
come
like-
over here. Greg, you got to be in the
Gabe's
story.
like,
Greg loves telling the story.
Gabe's like, because Greg was like, I'm gonna close the bar early and come see you guys. And Gabe's like, we're going to Ohio Inn. I was like, we are. And Gabe's like, go tell Greg we're coming over. I was like, I sprint down. I'm like, on the doors of Greg. He comes out. What the? I'm like, Greg, power's out at 5 o'clock. Everyone's coming over here. And he's like, what the hell is going? And then he looks out the door, and there's just this exodus.
Line of people carrying all your equipment down Detroit. Yeah. I says, well, I guess we're going to have the show at the Ohio Inn.
Oh!
Luckily, I live
I
like a
purposely
mile away.
closed
We had
that.
to
I
get
was
the
purposely
PA.
closing that night at 10 just to come over and see you.
that
And,
was the other
you're
thing.
wailing on the door, screaming my name, and I'm like, what? You know, I'm supposed to be
And
on
I'm
stage.
calling you at the same
You're
time.
calling me at the
Because
same time.
I had Greg on speakerphone, and the whole audience was there. I was like, shh, shh, shh. And they're all quiet. And Greg's like, yeah? I'm like, Greg, can we move the show to your place? And you're like, yeah? He said yes, everyone. Everyone's like, yeah!
Yeah, and it's just like mayhem, and like, and suddenly this is, like going back to the play. We were like, one of our big concerns was we have 20 minutes for the show.
Yep.
We have to practice just getting our equipment all set up in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to know how to like set up all the PA stuff, all this stuff like. And in the meantime, we had done like 3 shows at the Ohio Inn, I think, 2. And Gabe and I were running like a mic night then. So we just had this kind of familiarity, and we had this like moment of like, shit, we got to regroup in like 30 seconds.
We set up
we
super
pulled it together
fucking
pretty
fast.
quick.
we just
Super fast.
And the crowd was patient too.
Yeah.
But that was the magic part about it. Like, at any show in the world, if you're like, all right, we got to move it to another venue, the crowd's like, it's 10:30.
Yeah.
I'll catch them at the next one. But
Yeah.
about like, I would say like 80%, 75. Like, there's a few people that left, but most of the people came to the Ohio Inn, and the Ohio Inn was fucking crazy from the 2-hour set you guys played. It was insane, and like, I've never heard of that or seen anything like that. Usually people leave when you have to set up a drum set, not a whole stage,
Well, they know Greg pours heavy, but no, we're just lucky. We just really were lucky. I think people were just set out their evening to some extent, and they're like, well, it's not like we have to get up the next day. I think that's part of it. I think it was just people were just excited. I don't know.
And think of it, like, I think part of the public transit message is it's based on a community.
Yeah.
Right? And you develop this community that cares about the music and the venues in which it happens via Greg. So there was all this support, not just within like, oh, this is cool, but everyone got into it. There's support for you guys and what you guys were doing. There was places that supported it, opened the doors literally.
Yeah.
It's based on a community that is well accustomed to frequent delays.
So there we go. That's why
we
magically
we
worked.
had a lot of luck. But
Because I forgot Greg posted on Instagram, the Ohio Inn's closed today. Go see the Frans.
Yeah.
And then all that shit happens, and like it was just perfectly timed that it worked out so smoothly.
Yeah.
Because that was an insane show.
It's
People were
cool.
moshing like crazy.
How can I get there quicker? I'll carry this fucking snare drum that's not tuned.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with
The
Hit it,
whole
Greg.
crowd grabbed your crop and just started walking down the street,
Yeah.
man. And you guys started setting up the stage. And where's the drum? Where's the guitar? Who has the mixer? Who has the chords? And everybody kept coming in with different stuff in their hands as they set up.
I don't think I carried a thing.
I think you and I were like running back to like your house to grab the PA and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I think a bunch of people came with us there, and they grabbed the PA. Like, I don't think I walked over here with anything.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh, I'll get the PA. I'll get this. I'll get that.
La-ti-da. I carried fucking everything.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
know.
carried
Yeah,
a lot
actually,
of
I just
shit.
made
What
Matt
the
do all
fuck?
of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking with Pat my drummer, while this was happening, is like, oh yeah, we were in the car and we just saw, it was so cute. There was just a bunch of people walking with like Frans gear, making the show happen. You know what I mean? It was, but that is
That was a good
Good to know that he
Thank
was
you.
gonna skip
Just
our
watch
show.
and laugh.
Yeah, but you know, well, he was leaving. He was already out. Like,
Yeah.
but you know, it still highlights how magic of a moment that was. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Well,
That was a fun show.
I think I think we always saw the magic in it, and I my guess too is just like the people that liked us just saw magic in it, that we were like, this is really weird, this is fun, let's just get in on it and not like think about it too hard, you know. I think we all just saw it as just a special thing. I don't think it was. I don't think there was anything to.
Well, there doesn't have to be anything
Yeah.
more to it. It's just acknowledging that that was a fucking magic moment.
I
you
can
know?
look
Yeah.
good for one day on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
And
It
then
was-
that kicked off the tour.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was really cool because I think like the tour was the first time we didn't have that,
Yeah.
and to really like kind of test ourselves, you know, like with people that had never heard us, that weren't our friends,
Yeah.
Everyone
that maybe
hated
didn't
us.
drink as much as our friends, you know, like weren't as loose as
So
our
we
friends.
drank
Yeah.
for our
we were,
friends.
We were going. Yeah. we were doing the Midwest, but like the only town that really like lined up with our drinking habits was probably Chicago. We weren't doing Milwaukee
Yeah.
or Minneapolis or any of those places. So
But
we were-
anyway, it kicks off the tour, right? And so
Yeah.
that's already testing the kind of waters of going into a show with a different expectation. Like the crowd may not mosh tonight. You know, they may not mosh to the waltz. Like the
Rarely
crowd
did they
here.
ever.
Marshall Waltz.
The last song you guys did was a waltz, and people were moshing and
Oh,
dancing.
yeah, I
and,
forgot
like,
about
Oh, at our last show.
our last show.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's jumping. That's spoilers.
yeah.
We did a last show.
Yeah. The Frans are finished. But like
Oh.
during the tour, right? Was this like something that kind of came easy, like accepting these different
Oh,
expectations
totally.
from a show?
Yeah, we
Like,
kind of
was-
knew going in
Yeah.
that it was
Right.
just going to be different, and I think that was the allure of it. You know,
Right.
like as much as like we liked the shows here and everyone there, it's like it was fun to have a challenge of like we got to play like harder and tighter
Yeah.
these shows and like be as weird as possible to get you know. And
Yeah.
it was cool when we won people over, and it was funny when we didn't. You know, we laughed about it and made fun of people that didn't like us. No, I'm kidding. But
I remember really this thing, like Gabe and I watched this Aki Kaurismäki movie, Leningrad Cowboys Go America.
yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
they like there's this scene where they're in like this just nowhere barn, like somewhere in the middle of Texas. And I think Gabe and I just like we're like, we gotta play a show like that. We
Yeah.
got like we don't know anyone. Like they just don't get us. Like it's just weird. Like we're just fish
The
out
Leningrad
water.
Cowboys are just playing so like they're giving it their all.
Yeah.
Even though they're like, you know, they look crazy. They're this
Yeah.
crazy Russian band with these giant like spear like mohawk things
Yeah,
and these
and, like,
crazy
pointy
boots
shoes.
and
Yeah.
they all have these Russian accents and you know.
And they drive around in a hearse.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Very stiff tone score. But
Yeah.
Man, that was a weird night.
that's a different podcast. But
Yeah, you didn't play that night.
no, we didn't play.
We watched.
Yeah,
Gabe
we set it up.
You set it
Yeah.
up, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I
I
think
played that fucking night.
yeah,
I
you
was
played.
there.
Sorry.
Man, those two were off the planet.
They're awesome. They have really calm dogs.
I remember that.
And Hearst.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like we really wanted that, you know, and like yeah, it's like just a new kind of test of
Yeah.
like let's see if this is like real almost, because it's like I think we're living in such a fantasy bubble, you know, of
Yeah.
like people that like us as people, so they're automatically gonna like the band to a degree, and they really liked the band, which is cool. But I think it was like now we got to see if like we're actually good or not.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and just knowing you forever, like that's always something like it's been kind of a dream to do, is to go on a tour and put out a vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's stuff we've talked about forever. So to see you doing that, I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's like what we've been talking about for years, you know.
Yeah.
So it's so cool that there's already this good homebrew like base, and to go out and test it and do it and like really do it, because that's a lot to rent a car, to find all these spots, to book it. Me and you've talked about forever the screaming in the void of
Yeah.
booking and how like hard that shit is. So to have it all come together and have most like from and unless you guys want to correct me, maybe 1 out of 10 shows be all successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like Pittsburgh was like really the only bad night.
All right,
And
well,
it
Matt,
wasn't-
We had a very like
I gotta
anomaly experience.
Yeah.
We had like, I'm gonna say like 8 out of 10 shows was pretty good.
yeah.
And I'm not sure why, but
Yeah,
I think we're-
I've been just part of the kind of DIY, like just seen a lot of touring bands come to Cleveland, so I kind of knew, and I've seen what the good shows were here when seeing a touring. So I was kind of like, I know who to like figure out who's gonna like bring people and
Yeah.
what venues are gonna be good, and yeah, I mean a lot of it was luck, of course, but I
Yeah.
kind of just knew like, having been the band that's supporting the touring band here, it's like you kind of know like what to look for, you know.
I think too, like we chose a very like a, and part of this was just how it just turned out. I don't think there was anything like we planned it out this way, but there was like a realism to what we did and where we went, that there was a relatability to it. You know, like if we went to like New York City and Boston and Philadelphia, it'd be like, why are you singing about subways? Like this is just something
It's
that we just
normal.
ride, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are places that maybe have, I mean, it's not like everyone came out to see us because we had songs about buses and trains and stuff like that. But these are just things that like the experience we had, the frustrations, the humor, the jokes. It's all things that someone in Indianapolis, someone in St. Louis, someone in Chicago can kind of get behind too. You know,
Like
it's
they
something they
yearn
can really
for it a
relate
little
to.
bit.
They yearn
like
for
there
the minds.
were certain groups that you reached out to, like transit groups, Cameron, that you
Yeah.
had posted in for
Yeah.
different cities.
Yeah, I mean, part of the whole genesis of the tour was I was like, we knew some people in St. Louis that kind of had some connections, and I was like, oh, Gabe, we should play out in St. Louis, and Gabe was like, yeah, let's do it, and then Gabe was like, why don't we just do a tour? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, St. Louis was the shit.
Yeah,
We had a band actually write a song about transit.
in St. Louis.
Yeah.
What was their name?
Buy Your
Buy
Candy. Buy Your Candy. They're
That was Byron Candy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Where's the Rum had that School
Oh.
Buses song.
Yeah, they already had it.
Buyer Candy like specifically wrote a transit
That was
song.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah. CBGB.
Whoa.
Which
Mids.
CBGB in St. Louis used to be a funeral home. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Well, you played 2 funeral homes
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that tour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Youngstown?
Yep.
Yeah, that place was cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was.
There's got to be crazier tour stories than that.
Nope.
Like,
Nope. It's
That's
just
it.
about that.
That's
yeah,
it.
actually, yeah. There was one that was really crazy in Kalamazoo. I'll start it. So after I'll start it. So we
There's a
went to Taco Bell, and
Yeah, well,
Gabe
yeah.
was like, "You guys are gonna get food, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'll get food." And Gabe's like, "I don't want to go." Like Gabe was really pushing to get Taco Bell. And we're like, "Yeah, we'll get food." And so we went to the line, and Gabe's like, "Okay, I'll do 2 cheese quesadillas." And I was like, "I'll get 2 cheese quesadillas."
those are a lot.
And then-
That's a lot. That's like
Yeah.
$10 of Taco Bell.
$10, yeah, and a lot of calories. And Gabe was like, she was like, anything else? And I was like, no. And Gabe was like, oh, you guys. That was really, I think, the craziest. I mean,
was
we
the
were
craziest
we were up
we
really
got.
late that night too. It was like 10:30.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
we were
like,
really
man,
tired.
we've been eating like fast food like for fucking 6 days. Like I can't do this.
It was the
Pretty
only thing
crazy
open.
livings out there on the roads. I gotta say, it's really hard and also really tough
And delicious.
and delicious.
Mm.
And
We'll do a different
Joyous.
podcast about the massage.
and
But no, that's an off. I'm not looking for that on this podcast. No, that's an off podcast
Yeah.
thing we don't need to talk about.
Kalamazoo.
Well, we're gonna
But
do a
since
different podcast.
Cameron just hopped on the mic, you could tell us the
Fucking
craziest
Cameron.
thing you remember,
Cameron
Cameron.
is the worst.
Hi, my name is Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
Singer of the Frans. I kind of stink.
Gross.
Tell
Yeah,
us
I
your
know.
most
For
private
sure.
secret of secret.
Huh?
Exactly. Your most secret Cameron.
Remember
Come on.
that time on tour
yeah,
when?
You don't know what an E chord is?
Oh,
Yeah, that took me a long time to figure out. Let's cut that whole bit. That was terrible.
No, that was great.
Probably
this is
not
the
even
first podcast I'm not going to edit, just so you guys know.
How do you play a C chord, Cameron?
But anyway, so the tour goes off, and like coming back from it, like you guys are planning more tours down the line. The goal was to do more of that, right? And like,
Yeah.
But so it came back with this energy of success from doing it, and like, so I guess ultimately what I'm trying to ask is like, through that process, what was the lesson learned? Was it that we can handle these different markets and reach different people that don't know us? Was it how to get along as a unit? Was it how to play tighter? Like, tour takeaways.
I'll let Hope start. No.
Play better.
Sometimes it's about waking up in the morning and doing the best you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about going to sleep at night and knowing you'll do better tomorrow.
Wow. Tomcatting at night, bobcatting all day.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I took away from it was there was just this sort of like this we were really lucky that nothing bad happened.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like,
there
we
was,
didn't get robbed.
Yeah, we didn't get robbed. There was never
I
any.
robbed you guys.
Yeah.
Speaking,
Two
I
cases.
just stole
Yes.
from your wallet.
There's
so
never
you're
any.
asleep.
There's never anything bad that really happened. We had one bad show really, but there's no mechanical
Which show
issues with
was
the car.
bad?
Pittsburgh, dude.
Yeah.
Every show was fucking awesome.
What? Yeah, you're right. Well, the release show was the bad one.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean,
who's rooting.
and
through
even
the
then,
fridge.
like, yeah, like
Well,
exactly.
I
See, our
think
worst
I
show,
think
we
the
had a
only
lot of fun with.
the
Yeah,
only
exactly.
major failing that we had on this tour was not doing rat fink tattoos. That was
Yeah.
the only major failing.
You were the
Mirror.
reason why we-
I
Mirror.
know, and I know that I know that I was the reason why we failed at that. But we could still do it.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I but
This time.
I think like the takeaway though was like I think well first off it became extremely tangible. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, well, we can do this.
Yeah.
And I think the other takeaway was like, this is like a high like no other. Like it was just
It
was
was-
almost better than like having a bunch of people come to our
It's
shows.
not only that
Yeah.
you can do it, but you can fucking play fun music with amazing people.
Yeah.
And that's my main takeaway. I
It was
had a
crazy.
fucking
It was like
blast.
it was
Yeah.
like living in a bubble.
Yeah.
Like just with like your close friends and doing fun shit every
And
day.
I in a way like we all kind of like turned inward because I think like it was sort of like, well, we're not gonna see any of our pals out there, so let's just all have fun.
None of our pals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of those, Whitey, Crippled Willie, the fight spotter,
Joey Jefferson.
Slim chest.
Tough Sporkle,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Slim Chest, yeah.
I did a bunch of experiments on that tour.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll drink one beer.
Fatty
beforehand
Wilkins.
and
Yeah.
see how I feel.
It
I'll
went
drink
between
0
like
beers
it
and
went
see how I
between
feel.
like 0 beers and 4 beers.
I played the best when I had 0 beers.
The amount
Yeah.
of the amount of kind of like learning about your body. That's kind of what I took away the most of. Was just like learning learning how
what-
everything works downstairs. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
In
Learning
what
how-
conditions can you sleep?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
much
And,
how
like-
much Elvis on Elvis does it take to put you to sleep?
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of which, we happen to have Elvis on Elvis
know
on the line.
That's a
They're
different
calling
podcast.
Greg.
Different
right now.
podcast, different podcast.
Yeah, but no, for real though, I felt like I needed I learned how to because you're just so tired during the day and
Yeah.
at night you kind of need something to keep you up a little.
It
And
was
for me, that
it was
like
crazy.
rum and Diet Coke.
'Cause,
And I was sick the first couple
You
days.
Yeah.
like at least for me, like the entire day was just like spent in a daze besides like the 2 hours that you needed to do the gig.
Yeah,
It,
all of a
it's
sudden
kind
you're
of
awake.
crazy.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're awake. As soon as the first band would start at whatever
Yeah.
show, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm my adrenaline.
I'm here.
I'm alive now. But
Yeah.
every other part, we're just like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is Cameron reading us Drag Race.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Drag
I
race.
like one of my favorite memories from the tour is like we were all in Chicago. Hope's friend was getting us lunch at this great taco place.
Fuck yeah, it's
And
delicious.
like she was just trying to make like small talk with us, and we were all just like, it'd be like, so
Oh,
like
yeah,
how's
man.
the tour been? We're like,
It's
good.
good, man.
We're like, yeah,
Good.
good. Like it was just like we were all just like out of it. You know, we're like, yeah, it was fun. I don't know.
My favorite thing
Then
was
you get that adrenaline, then you can't sleep. Like even
Yeah.
when you get to bed, like you can't
Yeah.
sleep.
No,
and-
it's
And
insane.
then like you're like in bed at like you fall asleep at like 4 a.m. and then you wake up at like 9 a.m. to drive to the next show, and then yeah, you're like.
Well, we need to hear the excerpts from Drag Race. I mean, that was the best fucking
That's the other
part.
podcast. That's the other
Yeah,
podcast.
Drag Race is a novel written by
William Campbell Gold.
about two boys, right? And how they.
Two boys starting in
How close their relationship is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a through line.
Which I heard that was what the second Frans record was going to be about.
Yeah, it was another conceptual.
Yeah, I stopped that.
But no, yeah, like. Well, it's weird too. I think like another takeaway of mine was just like first 3 shows were kind of not so good for me, and yeah, I would say so. And then I was like, you know, like we got to we crossed state line into Indianapolis. I think that's when really we started doing a good job as a group. I think we're like because everything was new.
I don't know. I think Annandale really set us up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and. And that was the show. I think I was like, I'm gonna just try not having a beer.
Are we
before
gonna
my
tell
during
the
show.
story of Indianapolis?
No,
No.
it's a long story.
Okay.
It's too long.
What happened?
We played a show.
Where
That's what
was
happened.
I?
Hope just like
Melody and
drops it and now
Yeah,
leaves.
we played with Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
Moss of
Johnny
Looter.
is my boy.
Yeah.
Johnny is our boy.
That's why his name's
I don't
Johnny
know
Boy.
how much of that you want to say on
Yeah.
recording.
It's a long. It's no, we'll say it, but it's just a long story. So
I
maybe we'll do another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. We'll
do
do
another
tour
podcast.
But-
diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then tour wraps. The idea
Yeah.
is to make another record, right?
Yeah.
In between,
Yeah.
before planning the. Because Gabe, I remember talking with you, and you're planning the next leg of a tour,
Yeah, we're planning an East Coast tour.
Yeah.
and then because I know Hope was planning for grad school, and they got in, and they were. Would they get back? To that,
Well,
it's fine.
that.
But they're feeling overwhelmed with the tour schedule and the grad school schedule.
I think that's kind of like to me. It's sort of jumping like the collective gun. Like
Okay, because like
we didn't. I don't
that's
think we
one
really.
aspect of it.
I
Then
think-
there's like
Well, we were just starting to like. I think there was we came off such a high, and
Yeah.
like just I think how energetic we all got, like from just describing it, just to communicate how crazy it was. We were just really caught off an intense high,
yeah.
and we had like a show kind of coming up like the next month, and we were starting to work. Gabe was starting to send out emails for this East Coast thing. We're kind of starting to get an idea, and like the high I think was like slowly just it was like these little things were like it was like we had did what we wanted to do, I think, in some regard, and it's some of these little things that were like became just that were just little pebbles for us initially suddenly started feeling like big rocks, you know.
Yeah.
And like like you know like I just recall like some of the like back and forth between the venues started becoming more like just like come on like is that would that be kind of accurate to say that it's just like some of like it seemed like it was just more hoops and just the hoops felt like weirder and larger and more annoying like
Yeah, well, it was like people were just more responsive on the East Coast, which was cool. But also like kind of because like with the Midwest, it's like you might not get an email back
Yeah.
from a venue, and then so you send them another
Oh, right.
email, and then they don't respond. You send them another email, and then they're either like, okay, you've bugged me enough, we'll like let you fucking play here, or no. But on the East Coast, it was just like, I don't think you guys would be a good fit. I don't think, you know, like we just got like turned away really fast, which was cool, because then it's like, okay, I don't have to keep writing that
Yeah, it's
venue.
good to know right away.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, we got like half of the tour, that tour booked. It was only going to be 5 shows. It was going to be a shorter tour.
yeah
But
Who
yeah.
ruined it first?
What?
Who ruined it first?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
No, well, I don't like. It was just like, it's sort of like the it was sort of getting arranged, and you know we'd have like, I think we just had such a highness like from the tour and the album release that like it's kind of odd. Like I think we were planning for it, but it was just I think another thing we weren't really sure exactly what we were gonna do from there, you know. And it was sort of like, well, I guess we'll just do that because we already did this, and it just, yeah, I don't know. It like, how I felt about some of these, like what was happening was just like, if suddenly it felt like our shows just got really small all of a sudden, even though our last show of the tour was like really poorly attended, like we played like a show in Akron right after the tour, right? No, we played No Class.
Yeah.
Because that was with Andy Cook's. What was the name of the band?
Mucus.
Mucus. Yeah.
Yeah, Kaylee Featherstone.
Yeah.
From St. Seneca. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
really
a sick
liked.
bill.
I really enjoyed playing with them, but like it was like, and this is speaking real egotistically, but I think we came up and it felt like we had like the smallest crowd or something like that. It was like, whoa, what happened to all our friends?
Yeah.
That's kind of, it was weird. And it also didn't have that same anonymity that the tour felt like, to me at least.
Yeah.
And then we played in Akron, and I think that was sort of when.
I played bass in that show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
the band
around then.
disbanded.
Around then, Hope announced like that they got accepted to this grad program, and that would start in late August, early September, and
The end.
we had started getting this tour kind of structured out, and it's like, well, what do we even do now?
Yeah.
I was like, we got it. I got this thing kind of happening, but it's like, well, like. It was just very odd, I guess, because Hope couldn't do the tour. Is trying to figure out like who might be a good fit. Like, do we audition? Do we do this? Do we do that? And things just seemed sort of like excessively unclear to some extent. And around then I guess I sort of realized like, maybe this is just a good time to sort of switch gears and stop playing music with the Frans. So I kind of just made a whim and decided to not live in Cleveland. I decided to make plans to move after that, and I told Gabe at Akron, and Gabe's like, I'm thinking about relocating myself. So we're kind of like, well, okay. And without really saying it, I think that was kind of like, yeah, I guess this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I've always felt like, it was like always burning too bright for us, like it had to kind of just burn out one night,
Yeah.
Like it always felt too hot for our little human hands to carry.
Well.
Yeah, and we were just like blessed right off the bat with just as far as like someone as just like a little dive bar band playing. We just always had really good turnout, like you identified, and we always had people that were really into us. And I think, we kind of reached India, and then we got bit by a mosquito, and it just things started just feeling like a little bit like, what's the point? We don't need to go any further. We got here.
Well, did we mention like
Probably not.
the ultimate turning point of this?
Oh, when Steven and the gun. That's no. Which
What
ultimate
turning
turning point?
Which
I mean, the proverbial system of transit versus Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We don't have to get into
it's
it.
no, but I mean like that. I mean,
Well,
Jackson's passing was huge.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all that. I mean, we don't have to get into the
No.
details
Yeah,
of it, but the effects of it on you guys, I
Yeah.
think, is important.
It was huge.
Yeah,
I mean, like, rock and roll was I think the music of teenagers, and there's a youthfulness to it, and I think at that moment, I think we sort of came together really strongly as a group, and we all kind of support each other and helped each other out. But I think we just sort of realized that's more of maybe what our role should be as a group of 4 people, and maybe not playing music together, And there's almost our songs sort of started feeling real infantile, and it was like looking through an old yearbook, and
Yeah.
you started seeing, the acne on your cheeks, and the old baby fat, and it started just feeling really a little odd and a little tough. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that was necessarily like a big part of why we decided to stop playing. But I think it suddenly we just started facing, I think, personal things amongst the group members that just was kind of outweighed the need to make music together. So yeah, and I think I'm really grateful that we just got to. I mean, it's sad, but there's a sense of gratitude that we kind of came together and just, I think, fell on each other's shoulders and emotionally supported each other in that moment. But I think at that moment it was just sort of like, well, this rock and roll stuff might be a little bit too too heavy. I mean, too odd to keep going. So, yeah.
No, I think that's well said. It's a really heavy, complicated manner with everybody, and it's fucking crazy. This band started. There's a play. There's a death. Yeah. There's like the mayor's involved. You know what I'm saying? Like so far, a tour, an album that's pressed in wax, the power goes out. Like all these crazy things happens within this short run of a few years.
Exactly 2 years.
Exactly 2 years.
From our first show to our last show,
Which is crazy.
Well, even our last show, we didn't have power.
Right, so it's not even over yet because the last show. Before we get to the last show, there was the plan was to record another record.
Yeah.
Right,
well,
and I think that maybe that still exists somewhere, and that was going to be with Andy Cook, which would have been super fucking dope. But then
Andy Cook, we didn't realize was suffering from IBS, and no. Well, I was gonna say he had a fixation with
he had a bad spider
Mexican
bite.
restaurants.
Oh my God, that was a real thing.
Fast food.
Yeah, that was a real thing. He had a bad spider bite and had to get the venom removed from his leg, and he had to pull some gauze out of a hole in his leg.
Ooh, yuck.
This happened like a few years ago. But he was traumatized when he saw us because we reminded him of the spiders.
Yeah. I was going to say with the Frans, like, it was like we're a very small light bulb, and we got put into like a light socket that was like, 500 volts, And it was just like it was burning really hot and really bright. And then I think around just a lot of things just sort of happened, and we're just like, we're going to kind of work on an album together. We had some songs sort of ready, but just things were just sort of, not coordinating. And we were all kind of like, well, this date doesn't work. This date doesn't work for me. Well, I want to do this on this day. Well, I'm going with my parents to Michigan on this date. So it was just a lot of things just kind of.
You guys were set to move.
Yeah. We were planning this move and stuff like that. I think we all kind of were just like, well, we had a really good show and a good tour, and let's really be happy with that. And
then there was the plan for the final show.
Yeah, So we had a contact at House of Blues, and we just from there I think we just immediately knew we had to go back to Ohio and
and that week, Northeast Ohio was hit with a tsunami that knocked me out. Yeah. I was unconscious for a few days, but what I was told was most of Lakewood was without power. Yeah. Including the Ohio Inn, and we kept are we going to do it acoustic? Are we going to have to reschedule? Are we going to what are we going to do? And Henry Rapp, to save the day again, showed up with a generator, and we supplied power to us and a couple little sex robots and some LED lights. Yeah. So that was the last show, and it was a fun time, And it was weird. I think that show had the most new people.
Yeah.
I think there's people I'd never seen in a show.
Yeah.
Like me included.
Yeah.
Like Reggie Stevens was there, I recall. Bill the Gap.
Fun Bags McGee.
Yeah. He was there.
Greg, any perspective on this crazy week?
Yeah,
with
can we have Greg be the last person to say something?
Yeah,
Are we all done?
We're not done because we hit the last show. Now starts the whole second segment of the podcast called Greg's perspective.
Yeah, are we done talking?
No, we're not done. We're
No,
talking
the
to Greg
Frans
now.
done.
The Frans are going to communicate with Greg now, as so as
The
I.
best part of the fucking podcast.
This is what I've been waiting for. Greg, that fucking awful week with no power.
Yeah.
Your take on this crazy.
Well, it wasn't just here. It was.
Well, yeah, it was the whole street, the whole
whole
city.
Not really. You go a half mile one way and you went a half mile the other, and life was normal. And that was what was frustrating, is the rest of the world didn't seem to care. But the other was the constant, is it going to come on yet? Is it going to come on yet?
Yeah.
You'd see the trucks driving around and people gossiping on Facebook and stuff. So
It's just like
I got a little nervous come Friday.
Yeah, rightly so. As a owner of an establishment with a big show
I'm
planned.
it was ridiculous trying to be open. I had a bunch of campsite lights on, and it was pretty cheesy, but
It worked.
The sharp cheddar.
well, all I remember, so the night of the show, you guys were supposed to go on at 7, I think,
I think so. Yeah.
and nobody's here at 5:30.
Hope and I were.
Nobody's here at
Of course, we had
6.
to wait.
Hope and I were. We were in the parking lot
And I think
waiting to get in.
Matt shows up on a moped and says, "They're not here yet." And I got real nervous, like the generator guy fell through, and they're gonna
Yeah.
walk up here, and we did plan it for a long time. You guys planned it for probably a month,
Yeah.
and sure enough, man, he showed up, and
In a van.
the generator got going, and we had light in here, and it was a great show. One thing I'd like to say is I really, and I told Cam and Gabe this, and I probably told everybody this. I believe in you, and I will always believe in you, wherever you go. I think there's incredible chemistry amongst all of you, especially Cam and Gabe. He touched on, we tried doing an open mic for about 2 months in the spring of 23, and it got to the point where we're hanging out together more than the open mic people showing up. But to sit here and watch them jam together and make stuff up together, and I could tell that they're all also, you're all real talented too. I mean, very talented, and I don't want to tear down the other local music scene,
They suck.
but you have a unique sound. I have a music guy that came in here the other night. That's an older guy that's been around, and Cleveland could do better with working on their genres. Just drummers smashing away at 3/4 time and crashing the cymbal every 5 seconds. And volume is not necessarily your friend.
Yeah, Matt.
I'm always a fan of, like, if you're playing way too loud, you're hiding something.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, god damn it.
But
Greg speaking the truth.
Matt's hiding his enormous
Ego.
but no, I mean, I really, wherever you guys ever go, I'm glad I got to know you. The other thing I wanted to say was that the fans of the Frans, very nice bunch. You know what I mean? They're respectful of the place, they're respectful of the band. You know what I mean? And never had any problems. We probably squeezed 70, 80 people in here. But it was, I truly, I appreciate the business. You guys brought business too. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Well, and you've always, as far as like, I just on an outsider here, have always gone out of the way to open up the doors for these guys. And the community only works where there's a place where it can happen too,
Yeah.
and an establishment that supports the community together. So that's why this is kind of really cool to be doing this here tonight, here at the Ohio Inn.
Yeah.
With no one in the bar. Like,
closed.
Yeah, I think that's something that we just always kind of knew was like, shit hits the fan. We got Greg to rely on.
You
It's
can always
it's
hide
Well,
here, man.
yeah, exactly.
We got canceled for some things we said.
Yeah.
This is the only place we
The
could
other
play.
podcast we did.
Yeah.
I don't know how I was accepted in this band.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The other thing is that the album, I thought, is a very listenable album.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I caught
once.
myself, was it 10 songs?
Yeah,
12.
Good one
12?
timer.
I caught myself listening to the whole album, you know, in the car,
Yeah.
in the bar, on the phone, at home.
We appreciate you, Greg, and like, I mean, yeah, just as Dave said, like, community exists, but it can't really happen without a place.
Yeah, I mean, and I know there's other, there's other bands and stuff out there. I hope to reach out to more of them and
I heard of some boys
some
called
kind-
Nirvana.
get them some kind of consistent, you know. But yeah, like I said, you guys are pretty good to me. I appreciate it.
You've been good to us, man. Thanks.
What is it? Well,
On that note, can I get another beer?
well, that's the thing with the Frans. There is a mentality everyone can get onto, right? There's music that everyone can get behind, and then there's a community that's supportive and fun. And
Yeah.
like, I think it's a real special thing, and you guys did an incredible job doing it. And for all the bands I've played in with Gabe, around Gabe, and just meeting you two, like, I'm really happy to see how well everything worked and where everyone's going now. And
Thank you.
ba-boom, look at that. To the
Can I
to
have
the
like
top.
half a beer?
Half a beer. Okay, now you guys are pouring half
Let's
a
do
beer. We
water.
gotta do
From-
Greg questions. Like,
I think you,
Frans-
Okay, Greg.
I think you
wait,
need to
wait, wait.
practice
I
a
need.
little bit more.
Shit.
I only know a little bit about you, but
I need
I've heard
Greg.
your banjo
I need
and
Greg
I
to
don't-
tell us
I don't know.
where did Greg come from before
You
this?
told us already.
Yeah,
What?
we
No,
know
but
Greg Lore.
he-
I think no. Greg Lord's got it. Now that we closed the chapter on the Frans.
Thank you.
And I still got a couple hours left of podcasting in this can. We need some
We're running
fucking
out of
Greg
tape.
Lord.
Yeah, I think My Friends is going to close soon. I missed
That's not true. It's open all night.
No,
but we are
I
going to
missed-
my
I
friends.
don't think
after
it's
this.
open all
jazz
night
night.
anymore.
I think we're good. We got
After
a really
the-
good ending from
After
Greg.
the
I think that's
pandemic,
how
I
it
don't think.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think it's
think-
open all night
You know how
anymore.
many times? Hold on. There's a lot of people talking at once. This is awful for anyone listening. You know how many times we've gone
13,
there? At
14.
18.
I mean, yeah, but that's on the weekends.
I'm gonna mute all you
Like
motherfuckers.
love.
Purple.
That's on the weekends.
It's not true.
But, well,
What?
It's totally not true, lady.
It is
17.
true.
but
All right.
Question you have?
Yeah, what's
Come on,
the
ask. Hope wanted to know the legend.
no,
of
but that's a
Greg.
different podcast. This is
Greg.
Zig at the Gig, not
Greg, please tell us.
Bar at the
Can
Jar.
you tell us about? Wait. I want Greg to tell us about, like, if you can think of like one of the happiest moments of your life. Please tell us
which
about
show
that.
was it?
Yeah, which Frans show?
Which Frans show was it? And was I drumming?
Yes.
There we go. All right.
Definitely the night the power went out at 5
Yeah, that was
o'clock.
fun.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll always remember that. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah. That was one,
There was
one
a
thing, like,
killer was standing, and I had this tear in my eyes, like, holy shit, they get like 150 people over there. Where
Yeah.
we gonna put them?
yeah.
And when he started marching down the street, I says, I guess we got to do it.
We played so bad because we were so, like, well, maybe not bad. I played really bad because I was so winded and, like, drunk.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
incredibly winded. I'm like,
Yeah, well, it was so late by the time we
Yeah.
started
I
playing.
was so excited to play to like my drum set being mic'd up.
I know.
And come here, I was like, okay, I gotta play loud as fucking
Yeah,
shit.
so, but, like, the good thing was, like, well, people are going to remember this show
Yeah.
because they helped carry a fucking
Yeah.
simple
Yeah,
set.
Yep.
well, that's
You
that
know, like,
community.
way
that
more
can-
than, like, if we had just done it at 5 o'clock and played a kick-ass
yeah, I'd like to
set.
call out what's it in Tenzin? I think he has video and he's never released it. So
He's working on it.
Well, me and
Takes
him are working on a Franz
takes a
documentary right now.
Where you
Takes
at?
a lot to digitize some things.
I guess.
Oh, what are you, a film guy?
No.
Ah.
Yeah. But, anyways, what was the next question? Did you have one?
Favorite color?
Greg, what was the?
No, this you got this is Hope's spinoff
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I hope you
Yeah.
guys should do a podcast.
Gladly, dude. Gladly.
Hope and the Pope.
No,
You guys don't know anything about Hope the Pope. Hope the Pope is a
Hold on.
whole
I need
other
you to
thing.
pause right now. Hope the Pope. We can pause on that.
What are you
We
hiding?
need we need to wrap this up the only way I know possible, which is two Elvises calling Greg.
Two Elvises.
I don't.
Wait,
Yes,
Greg's
two.
like, wait, that
yes,
was you
two
guys?
Elvises.
I don't think we ever called.
Yes, you did.
We definitely did the like 5 phone.
Yeah, we did the 5 phone thing
five
with
phone
Greg. We
thing.
I
called
have
John's.
a phone input. We can do some prank calls if you guys want.
No, it's
Yes.
okay.
Come on.
It's okay.
At 5. I mean,
What,
like the-
call in the bar and ask him if I'm open?
No, yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, it's Elvis here."
And
Not
then
the
you
first
get
one
the
to prank
feedback from
me.
the first phone, and then you get the feedback
Here's
from the
Harry
second
Cox.
phone, and then you get the feedback from the third phone, and then you get
Did you ever
the.
get a really trippy psychedelic phone call from us?
Did you ever pick up the phone? It's like, whoa, this Pink
Whoa,
Floyd
whoa,
called me.
whoa, whoa, Greg, Greg, Greg,
Yes. Yes.
Which one's pink, bro?
That was us.
And you strung me along pretty good for a while. And the only reason I remember this Cameron say that right now, this is Pink Floyd.
This is the
United
Pink
States
Floyd.
called it the Pink Floyd.
But yeah,
Well, I guess there's a couple more questions. What's the old Macombo?
Old Macombo.
Taco Bell.
Matt so plainly says.
Should I don't know if I should delve
Don't
in.
say the real answer.
Yeah.
You should.
Old Macombo is just.
Band's over.
It's just the
the old
place.
Macombo,
It's
man.
just the place.
It's just the place
Just
to
let
be.
it go.
It's just the place, man.
Let it go.
Just the
I
place.
don't even know what it is.
Yep. Yeah. That's why. If
You crazy kids got Google. You can look it
Yeah.
up.
You might know the new Macombo, but the old
Yeah.
Macombo is just the place.
It's a place in your heart, man.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. What's the next question?
And the next question is,
Just do
tell
like
me the most meaningful thing you've learned from my Austin Stamba.
From Austin?
Yeah. About
Don't
life.
give a fuck about anyone. That's what I've
Yeah.
learned.
Is that
Learn
how
to play
Austin
better
does?
music.
That's how I
Fans and
view
playing
Austin. I view Austin as just like living in a world of your own creation and just not fucking caring about anything else. Just like the absolute dedication. I love it.
I always what I love about Austin is, I think there's few people that really bring forth the experience of a single mother, especially one that immigrated from the Philippines. So I think Austin, the moment that Austin got off the plane from Manila with baby Sancho was always Austin. I don't know.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. Yeah, I don't know. He's like rapping's just a rat and Austin's just a guy. I don't know. He's,
At the end of the day, he's human. You know.
yeah. Well, I think if I was gonna be really like something, I just was just blown away by Austin when I first saw him was just he had a real good image, and maybe the part of it is just because I was working on the film with Gabe.
Well, it's all.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah, and
in the film.
It doesn't matter what.
yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no substance. I always thought there's no substance to but he's like he had this sort of he was really put together. He had this just really great kind of cowboy punk look, I
Best
guess.
name in Texas.
And yeah, that was maybe the big thing I took away from Austin was just like, that there's more than he's a great musician, don't get me wrong, and that's what's more impactful in the long run. But that's what immediately just struck me about him. It's just he has this
Striking look.
striking look that kind of would just bring someone in, and then it brings you in, and then you kind of stay because of their substance, and yeah,
What's turned me away from him is his look.
yeah,
I don't like his look.
yeah.
Yeah.
The pants too
not a good
tight.
image.
The hat
Yeah.
too big.
I don't know him.
So I
I've never
have
seen a
one.
picture.
This will be the
I don't
final
like it.
question before we do too many bits and maybe offend Austin. Because Gabe and I, we've talked about Austin enough when we did that podcast with Austin.
Yeah.
But another final lesson that you learned from Big Daddy Roth.
Big Daddy Oh,
How did Big Daddy Roth
How do you-
impact your life personally, philosophically, mentally,
yeah,
creatively?
I think like understanding that there's like another realm where things don't appear as they do in this realm. A realm where like rats are green and drive cars and clutch to 8 balls with their eyes bugging out of their fucking skull. Because Cameron and I were in New York City when we started our love for Rat Fink, and I was tripping on a tab of LSD, and
That's what I was gonna do today.
and it was such a like realization that like this little rat guy is like, you know, you have reality on a plane, and he's like a rat, and it's on the other side of that plane is like this kind of cartoonish, putrid thing living within you.
Yeah.
That's, and you know, like you gotta let it out. You gotta let the rat fink out.
Yeah.
And then I think there's also someone that we call that stinks, and it's like kind of the opposite. It is like the human kind of
Repressed.
the repression of the rat fink, and like that's also necessary. Like I think that stinks is just as meaningful and necessary to the being as rat finks.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that stinks for the people to be in on the
Let's
bit?
give a that stinks scenario.
No,
Let's say you're on a
Explain
train. No, well,
the guy.
I'll explain.
I wanna know
Let's
the
say,
guy.
let's say you're on a train,
Yeah.
and
Who on a train?
you're on an Amtrak, and you sleep past the dining car hours being open, and you go up, and you're like,
It does stink.
May
You're
I
like,
get a
yeah, you're
May I
like-
get a Coke?
and they're like, no, dining car's closed. It's like, not even just a Coke? And they're like, nope, like I can't just give you some. Nope, we're closed. And you just, that kind of stinks.
And he walks away. Yeah.
And you just walk away. Like, that is, you know, as human as it gets.
Yeah. But
Fucking horrible. That stinks so much.
It stinks.
That stinks.
yeah. But there's there's repression, but there's also an acceptance.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes
Yeah.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, we really gotta watch that fucking documentary.
Destruction
No.
and creation in the same breath.
I don't want
It's
to know
like-
too much.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
no, you do.
No,
you do.
trust
no,
me.
No, You
No.
do.
Cameron
but
and I
there's-
don't, because we will destroy
I still
everything.
don't know how water works. I don't get what oceans are. I still believe that there are. I still believe
thinks
at
the
the
Earth is
ends
flat.
of. Yeah, I believe.
Pond.
Yeah, I don't want to know because I don't want the mystery
What's a bird bath?
to eradicate.
So
I'm trying to figure
eradicate, pun intended. But in the documentary,
What's a puddle?
that out. No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil
no,
it.
it's you know how they interview people in documentaries?
Yeah.
They interview the cars.
No way.
Yes. And like Big Daddy Roth like invents T-shirts. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, Greg,
Yes.
what's your take on Rat Fink?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he's like a rat. Podcast over.
He's like a rat.
Give me my cables and mic back.
He's like a rat.
That's
All right,
like me
guys.
asking you what carbon paper is.
But the Frans, I'm so proud of all you guys. I'm glad you guys are my friends.
Oh,
I'm glad that to have
well,
been on.
you know, can I say one more thing?
yeah.
Because I think like having Sea Level as like a sibling band was like the most helpful
Yeah.
kind of thing of
Yeah.
all of it. Like starting it off with the first 3 shows with Sea Level, and doing most of our shows with Sea Level, going to Nashville with Sea Level. Like we needed another band to leech off of.
Yeah.
And you know, we wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. So it was
Like,
cool
guys.
to like do all that again.
I think from my perspective too is like, you know, you guys are much older than me.
At least 3 times.
Facebook.
So-
Or
no.
MySpace.
No, but I always just, there was sort of like an older sibling thing to me that just felt like,
Classic rock, right?
yeah, well, no, it just felt like, you know, like, to me, it always felt like, oh, that's something I can do. Oh, it's attainable. Oh, these guys have walked the path where I can do. You know, there's always something to look forward to and look up to. So, yeah, so I always thought of it as just like, you know, like, just a gauge of like where we can go and what we can do with it. So, and yeah, I think Gabe nailed it. That was
So
just
what
And-
happened?
I also want to say there is a Frans gun story that I still have not told.
Which one?
Oh,
the thing?
I'm no, it is
The thing you
There-
meant to tell everyone
yes,
at the beginning?
there
Well,
is a
fucking tell
Frans. No, I won't. I've decided no.
Which gun?
I feel like
There
you
is
got it
a-
now.
off the podcast?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
No,
stop
say
the
it
podcast.
now.
I'm not. Okay, it's off.
No, fuck
No,
that.
I
it's
hit
off.
the button. It's really
No,
off.
yeah, you have to press the. You have to make
I
the
hit
noise.
the button. I said the
It
sound.
didn't make a noise though. I didn't hear.
It doesn't make a. Yeah, I'm wearing the headphones. You wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, no, you can hear. There's.
All right, listen. Cameron is the worst Telecaster guitarist I've ever heard.
All right.
That's what I was doing anytime I
They're at this one show. Somebody came and
No.
did all the thing.
All right.
What?
You didn't hear me?
We have to end this podcast right.
I know. We got to end it right. Don't,
Okay.
You don't have to tell it.
Come to Ohio. This was sponsored by Ohio Inn.
Yeah, come at the Ohio Inn.
Yeah. Come. Yeah. Greg. Ohio Inn. If you got a good.
Listen,
Ow, I really burned my.
I joined the band. I was in the band. I guess I was in the band.
Well, that's how we feel too.
You're the best part of the Frans.
I ruined the band.
Yeah.
I'm glad to ruin bands.
Matt.
That's what I do.
Matt is actually an anagram for Frans. So
How so?
we'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Which way?
You just changed put the first letter in the second one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Gross.
Yo, Spike Spiegel here. You just listened to Zig at the Gig podcast. Keep riding the bebop. See you, Space Cowboy. Bang.